Hello, everyone. We are the Lost Caravan RPG. We do one shots, we do mini-series, we do long-running campaigns. If it's TTRPG, pretty much do it all. Tonight, we are playing one of my favorite horror games, a game called Locus. It focuses on your characters' personal traumas, their personal experiences, and it manifests the horror from them, which means that this can be a very personal game for players behind the characters. Why we do have safety tools implemented. We have X cards that we can put in our Discord, and of course, there is always a direct line of communication between me and the players. So we are looking out for each other at all times. You who are watching, however, don't have that same opportunity. So if it becomes too much, please do turn off the stream, go take a break, get a glass of water, whatever it is you got to do, and come back if you feel like you can do so safely. But otherwise, look after your mental health. That's the most important thing. Our announcements are so light right now. We're at the end of the month. Our charity event's over. The casting call for February is closed. We're working on getting that schedule out, which, starts tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get that soon. Our casting call for our long running campaigns. Sorry, our one shot schedule for February is closed. Our long running campaigns for March, those are still open. So if you're interested in playing either Avatar Legends or Fabula Ultima, you can find that sign up sheet on our Discord or on our Twitter. Go sign up and come hang out, come roll some dice with us.
The Avatar game is a really fun game. You should check that out.
I'm very excited. Other than that, we have a website where we have lots of cool merch, as well as a section where we highlight the beautiful community that has our backs. And we have a YouTube channel. Check us out at YouTube at Lost Caravan RPG. All of our streams end up there. But I think that is enough out of me. I don't need to kick up the music. It's right on. All right. I'm going to go around the table, give everyone a chance to tell people who you are and who you're playing tonight, and then we'll dive on in. Start clockwise from me, starting with Robin with two B's.
Hi, I'm Robin, two B's, please. You can find me at Robin Redunk on just about every social media platform. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch, and I do my own actual plays in the form of a series of one-shots called Short-Lived TTRPG Reality TV, where we just do a bunch of reality TV tropes in tabletop games. But yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays on Twitch.
All right, over to Joanne.
My name is Joanne. Handle is at Lil Bunny Foo Foo. FOOFOO. On Steam, I am FUFU instead of ooh ooh. Same with Twitter, foo foo. I stream typically on Mondays and every other Thursday with my sister from another Mr. Robin with 1B. And I listen, I just am a variety grab bag of just interests on my stream. Real estate roulette, Dead by Daylight, Overwatch 2, ARAM. If there's salts and pettiness, I will be there. I am playing Mira Kant, who is a true crime podcaster.
Oh, I forgot to say my character. I'm
You sure
playing
did.
Callan Dash Bedford, an old fisherman.
All right, over to Lonnie.
Okay. Hi everyone. I am Lonnie or Looney_Shaws. On Twitter and whatever places don't accept the underscore, then just Looney Shaws. Um, I just play video games in private. Geez, should I also join the streaming game? Because everybody else in the stream does. Um, as of right
Why
now,
have us?
the one day do it and you're cool.
For the con!
For the con.
For the band.
One day I'll do it for the con, but right now, today I am here. I don't have much else going on after this until we find out what the February casting call is, other than on Sunday, I will be over in High Shelf Collective for our probable finale of Midway Madness, which is I
Go.
only joined it like 4 episodes ago, so I'm like, how are we already ending? But here we are.
Go heck no.
Oh my god, no, don't cheer on Heckna Hoop. You're gonna get us killed. It's a good thing there's no villain points over there, I will say.
Fanboys
Or
for
else
Heckna.
Like Heckno would have been all over us. Well, he's already rude. But today I'm gonna be playing Ada Laren. She is a psychologist that's just trying to get away for the weekend.
A simple psychologist.
Simple psychologist, nothing behind the background. Don't pay attention to any of it.
All right, and then over to Robin 1B.
Yep, I'm Robin with 1B. Hi, everybody. Ginger Brigade on Twitch, Ginger_Brigade on Twitter. I am a video game streamer, which I'm soon to be transferring to YouTube video only. Not because the platform's bad, it's just better for my schedule. I am also that sister from another mister that goes with Joanne. We are salty together when we play video games such as Overwatch, ARAM, Dead by Daylight, things of that nature. After today, next time you'll see my smiling face is, at least that I know of, is going to be on the 16th. Can I talk about it, Hoop? The
Yeah.
thing? Yes! Champion of the Gods, a level 20 Pathfinder 2e free-for-all of some sorts. My second foray into Pathfinder, and I'm
That
doing
sounds
level
fun.
20.
20.
Oh my
sounds
god.
fun.
Anyway, I am playing sorry. Just my brain just went everywhere. Izzy Ramsey, roommate to Mira Kant, and she is a nurse.
Heck yeah. All right. And I guess that just leaves me. I am Andrew, your games master for this evening, running a game that I dearly love, written by Cobblepath Games. They do other things like Stack of Goblins and Coffee and Chaos, which we got to play the Chaos game here on stream, and it was a ton of fun.
So good.
Yeah, absolutely. Go check them out. They have an itch page. It's used to know this off the top of my head. 1 second. I got this. Got you. There it is. Bam. There you go. That's their Locus game, but it has all their other cool stuff. Go check it out. Like I said, this is a horror game based on trauma. So, yeah, if that's your deal, highly recommend. Also, thank you for the subscription. We heckin' love ya.
Can do.
Milky Cartons, thank you. Alright. Well, suppose we should just dive on into it. If you go into the link for captions and you actually change the word blank to your player name.
Crazy.
Go into captions, change the word blank to my player name.
Yes.
It's in the link. Yeah.
Oh, like in the actual URL?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Peek behind the
Hold on.
screen.
Wait. One moment. The
Alright.
clock.
Did that? Okay, I think that
Yep.
did it.
You're still. Am I?
That's fancy.
Am I? Are we?
Alright.
Are mine not even working?
Yours
Like,
are not.
what the heck?
Make sure you're using Google Chrome.
I am using Google Chrome.
Okay,
So,
That's usually
Watch
Catherine on
that.
my side.
that's
Watch
usually my
that
problem. I
moment
opened it in
do.
Firefox first.
Sorry, everybody.
Let's dive on in.
Yeah,
Just like
dive
this
in.
one said it.
Dive. Sorry.
Yeah.
The four of you, some of you know each other, some of you don't. You've all been invited to this evening's trip off the coast of Maine on a small, retired fishing vessel. Spends the afternoon and evening just lazily floating along the coast. We'll use it for a sightseeing. We'll have other motives, but alas, it seems to be that you are not the only ones that have decided to be here. It is the slow season, so there's less than a dozen other passengers, in addition to the captain. Before we get to the boat, which of you think will be arriving first? To the docks, I should.
I honestly think it'd be Mira. Probably dragging
gonna
Izzy
say
along.
you and I, because
Yeah.
I have the itinerary, the suggested, like, it's in my binder of research, like, when you should be here.
Mhm.
And Mira is very much the type of, if you are on time, you are late. And there's anxiety because normally I'm in my home attached to the Google doing the research on the internet machine, and this is her first. I'm gonna try to solve a case. I'm gonna go out on the field and look for evidence, and I'm bringing my emotional support roommate with me, who is very much more of a no, if I'm on time type of person.
She's also very exhausted right now because you dragged her after a 10-hour shift.
I gave you a 5-hour coffee, and then I took you to Starbucks. Not sponsored, but could be. Could be. Might be fun. Um,
But anyway, I would say it's
so
probably Mira and Izzy first.
Two of you pull up. It's an old fishing dock. Most of the equipment is rusted beyond use. Hardly anyone here, short of the captain and probably the deckhand who's going to help launch you and then hang out and wait for you to get back. There are two other guests already standing here. A couple, a man and a woman. Doing the typical touristy thing of taking pictures of everything and excitedly pointing things out that they see. The two of you like to do.
um
Which one of your harebrained stories are we chasing down today, Mira?
it's not harebrained. It's cold and it is it could be connected to more than one, but there have been some people who've gone missing not too far from these docks. And also there's very deep water, bodies could be hidden in it. And you just gotta check stuff out. I kinda wanna catch the vibe, see how many people are typically here. Could anybody have conceivably seen somebody load a suspicious boat, not unlike that one, and drop something in the ocean, not unlike that one? And see if there's any CCTV, just kind of clock to see
I
if there's any
highly doubt
cameras.
it. I highly doubt it. Everything, and if there are cameras, they are either decoys or they're rusted as hell.
Listen, some boat could have a ring camera. Some
You think that
yuppies could have
you think
not.
that boat's got a ring camera? Are you kidding me?
No, that goat has a guard poltergeist. But um, that's an old boat.
Yeah.
Like it's got a ghost whale under it, probably to keep off the people. But
If the captain's name is Ishmael, I'm out.
fair,
Like,
fair.
Well, as the two
But
of you,
also maybe a little racist. But I mean fair.
whatever.
as the two of you are having this conversation, Ada or Calendash, To be fair, Calendash is probably already here, just sitting kind
I
of
was
off to the side and waiting.
gonna say
that.
Calendash was only the second to arrive because he's waking up from the nap he was taking on the bench,
On the bench.
on the dock. A rowdy conversation nearby has stirred him, and just in time, as it appears the boat seems to be boarding. Um, Calendash in very thick, uh, thick knit sweater, uh, up covers his neck, turtleneck. That's the one. That's the word I'm looking for. Turtleneck sweater, wool cap, big bushy white beard, and he is wearing his bright yellow waders, and he usually takes this boating trip every couple of weeks, um, and he knows that they never leave the dock on time, but the captain lets him do a little spear fishing off the side, so he has his spear with him.
I'm seeing the Gordon's fisherman without the coat. Is that like the yellow waders and the
Yeah, it's essentially Mr. Fishstick, just without the hat. Uh,
Yes.
Well, as you are waking up and, hoisting your gear, grabbing for your harpoon, you do see the captain of the ship is starting to let people aboard. Married couple that's excitedly taking pictures, as well as a couple that seem to be arguing about cameras.
I as I casually walk towards the boat, I pass the young married couple as a first time.
Are you saying it to
Oh yeah, no,
Mira
I'm saying
and
that
Izzy?
to the couple. I'm saying that no, not to you
Oh,
two,
to
to the
the
married
others.
couple.
Okay. I was
Yeah,
like, whoa, hang on.
I
the
mean,
newlyweds.
with just as much excitement, the two of them would kind of just whip around with their cameras. Yeah, we decided to take a weekend trip up to the coast, and it's kind of later in the year, so there's not usually as many people. Yeah, we got a really good deal on this boat ride. We're excited. Yeah.
Very good. I'm sure you'll have a lovely time. Just mind the smell towards the south of the bay. It passes quickly, but just letting you know.
Good to know. Thanks. They'll pretty quickly usher just further onto the boat.
Mm. He pays it no mind, and like if they are like deliberately avoiding him, he's just like.
Makes sense. Well, Ada, we'll pull
Uh,
up and see that the captain is starting to do last minute preparations, getting ship ready to disembark. Like you're the last one.
well, Ada is walking towards the boat, kind of looking like she tried to show up exactly on time to the dot. Whereas I know everyone else was either like on the dock or like showed up a few minutes early because mindset was if you're not early, you're late. I am showing up exactly on time and it looks very deliberate. Like I almost probably like waited in my car for a minute or two just to make sure that like at the exact moment I was walking towards um the deck at like soon as like the time turned. Um and she is wearing this like fishing vest that looks like it just came out of packaging. Like she probably just ordered it off of Amazon and it like has things in the pockets, but she looks it like it doesn't look like she ever actually went fishing in it. And she has kind of she's wearing a hat and kind of just looking like she's strategically trying to lay low kind of thing, like because she's like so pointedly casual, it almost, at least to her, seems like she's sticking out, but she's just trying to keep her head low and go towards the boat and know that the boat's not going to leave without her, because she was keeping an eye on it and making sure that when she saw it be loading and saw the time tick, it was ready to go.
Of course. The captain, old, probably. I mean, he looks like early 90s, but realistically, he's probably late 70s. Just lived a very hard life.
Mhm.
Well, what's left of his hair is graying, very tough, sunburnt, scarred skin. Just watches you come up to the ramp, curtain nod, and steps aside to let you.
Kind of give like a quick little wave and a step aboard and kind of just say, like kind of just nod to him again and say, thank you for the trip for the evening, and just kind of keeps walking past.
Don't thank me till you get back.
As she's like, she'll hear that as she's kind of already starting to walk, and she'll just to herself be like, that's not cryptic at all. um but she'll just kind of like that moment where you kind of just stand for a second and just shake your head like, what, and just keep going.
The ramp is lifted. Boat is untied. Get something?
Oh no, I was just gonna say Calendash just gonna to the captain as he walks on board.
All of you would know this just probably from knowing the boat or doing your research or booked the trip. But the vessel's name is the one that got away.
Oh.
Cute.
With
I
that,
look at Mira. My comment still stands.
Which comment? We had a few.
The name of the boat is the one that got away, and I said if the captain's name is Ishmael, I'm out. My comment still stands.
But maybe it's like, woohoo! I'm the one that got away. Yeah.
Sure.
Got away with what though?
there
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the question.
That's
Still
the
the-
cryptic.
That's what
Rumbling of the engines would kick to life, causing vibration throughout the entirety of the vessel. Anything that's not perfectly secured down just starts vibrating in place. Even pipes start shaking loudly. This thing barely looks like it's seaworthy. And yet,
Mira has a hard time standing. Just
and yet, disembark. As we do, the captain will come over the intercom, loud crackle, a lot of hissing static. Welcome to our trip on the one that got away. I'll be your captain for tonight. Call me Captain. Need anything? I'll be in my quarters. Don't touch anything that's not yours. If anything looks broken, leave it be. It's probably meant to be that way. If you see anything unusual, keep it to yourselves.
Welcoming.
This trip takes about 2 hours. There, we'll stop for lunch. And about 2 hours back. And then just clicks off the intercoms. So, there's the deck of the ship where you can see out to all the beautiful scenery. autumn afternoon. Below deck, they have the kitchen. They have a place where you can rest, as well as like a card room, and there's kind of a lookout tower. It's up above the rest of the ship. Where would you say that everyone?
I don't think Ada would be at like the front of the boat, but she'd probably be kind of off to the side, just kind of like arms leaned up against the railing, just kind of distantly staring out. Um, I think trying to enjoy the view, or at least looking at it. It exists, but yeah.
Um, Mira,
I think Calendash is down in the kitchen. He's cleaning his little toolkit for like gutting fish and stuff.
Mira would go below deck to like the little rest card area, um, briefly, just to kind of look through her book, catch her bearings, and try to figure out her next step for like what she actually wants to look into for.
Feel like I feel like I kind of want to I want to see if Izzy would recognize Ada. Like maybe that Ada had been at the hospital for something for like a psych visit or something like cuz she's a psychiatrist.
Um, so I work at a prison mainly.
Okay.
I'm kind of looking I kind of do more like psych evals for like prisoners to see kind of how they're doing, see if, do the clearance forms if for some reason like they're trying to release them, and I kind of like check to see, does it seem like they have been rehabilitated, or does it kind of seem like they still might be a risk to people? So
Probably not then. Okay.
yeah, I unless like somebody was injured and you worked at the hospital, that maybe like I don't know if they would ever take a prisoner kind of out of the prison to like if they had like a really severe.
It's usually for surgeries.
Yeah, like that. Well, I mean, that's what I was thinking, like something severe, like they needed more than just a infirmary or something. But
Okay.
um, I
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. Not knowing
yeah.
who you are, that's fine too. I was like, maybe no. Okay, that's cool. Then, uh, I think Izzy would just be like attached to Mira at this point, just like you dragged me here, so I'm just gonna follow you.
That's fair. Okay. So, there is a chance that the discount killer dumps bodies here. There is somebody called the Scalpel, but I don't think that that's somebody that would dump anything here. And then the third killer that could use this area is creatively called the Seashore Butcher.
Are you making these names up?
No, I didn't. The newspapers did.
Okay.
To be fair, the Seashore Butcher was like 30 years before our time. So, it was a different time. Everybody spoke like this.
No, no, because
It's a continental accent. Ah.
there's also the '90s. So no,
Oh, fuck, I forgot I'm old. Okay, 30 years before that.
still not the right accent, but sure.
Close enough. Better. don't tell me that in sync happened. Ugh.
Yeah, hurts, doesn't it? Anyway,
Oh, I'm
so
gonna
not
walk
the
out to
seaside for
sea.
them,
Ugh.
or
I mean, we might find somebody. Like, I don't know.
how many bodies are we looking at?
All together or separate?
Pick one.
25 and a half all together.
They only found a torso?
They just found legs.
One.
It's new. Normally you
Sure.
find the upper half. You don't normally see the bottom half walking around.
Fair.
So the only one on deck right now with Ada.
Yep. Pure so.
Then you would notice close to half an hour after leaving shore, very thick fog has started to.
Great. It already seemed like the captain didn't exactly seem promising about us getting back safely, and already complications. That's fantastic. Um, are we able to see shore from here yet, or is the fog already?
You can't see anything.
Oh
Fog's
boy.
coming in.
Okay.
I'm going over the side and just gonna paddle.
Okay. Okay. Now that there's kind of nothing to see anymore anyway, she'll probably go down to where everyone else is, but kind of still keep to herself. Like if there's, you said there was like a card table maybe?
It's like a break room.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, she'd probably just go kind of sit down somewhere below deck, and if there's like a window where she can like watch the waves or something, she'll be doing that. If not, then she's just
As you get to the stairwell to start heading down, run into one of the crewmates. Younger man, probably 20. Doesn't quite look like that. The shine behind the eyes has quite been beaten out of him, like the rest of the worn sailors. But he's reaching the top step as you start rounding the bend to walk down. Just that moment of, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, no, please go ahead. Uh, on the ship by yourself? I'm sorry. That sounded really. That was creepy. What I mean is, are you with the party? We don't.
no, your first assumption was correct. Don't look too much into it because again, creepy, but no, just by myself. Thought it would be a nice little relaxing trip, but I guess there's already some fog rolling in, so I can't see the coast of Maine. So,
Oh,
um,
yeah. They said that might be the case, but by the time we reach the island, fog should be pretty.
I'll hold you to it. Kind of like dryly, but trying to be teasing, kind of, and um, says, uh, Captain seems uh sure that we'll get back safely, right? He's,
Of course,
things are broken than they should be, and uh,
of course. We always get where we're going.
good, good. Uh, well, good meeting you. And she'll kind of like just brush past him going down the stairs.
Get about 2 steps down and hear him just kind of reach the deck and starts power walking off, and notice that the behind him he's leaving a trail of footprint. a dark
What-
color.
Like, what does it look like he stepped in? Or what does it look like he's tracking, I guess, is the better question. Like,
Would you like to inspect it?
yes, I would. What do I have to roll for that?
Nothing.
Oh, cool.
Reaching
Okay.
down and just physically. It's a little congealed, but the color's still pretty recognizable, especially for someone in your. It's definitely blood.
Oh, okay. She'll kind of like brush it off on her like brand new fishing vest because it probably even looks more realistic now, but that it has a little bit of blood on it. Um, and then she'll start following the footprints a little bit and see where they came from.
Where everyone else kind of seems to be off to your right at the base of the stairs, towards the kitchen, rest area, card table room. These seem to go off towards the left, or towards engine maintenance, towards.
Um, does it look like it's coming out of a specific like doorway or anything like that? If
It's a little hard to tell. It's not exactly well lit down here.
Um, would it be reasonable to assume we all have our phones?
Yeah.
Can I turn on the
Modern
flashlight
day,
on my
I
phone?
have my phone on me at all times.
I mean, I wasn't sure if we were assuming that this was 2023 and we were all glued to our phones or what, but yeah, I'll turn on the flashlight on my phone and kind of see if that helps illuminate things so I can keep following it.
How charged would you say that Ada keeps her phone?
She was sitting in her car kind of waiting for things to happen, so I feel like she was probably sitting there with like her car charger on. So I wouldn't say like fully charged, but maybe like 80 something.
We'll say like 85. And now you can drop it by 13.
Okay. That's about accurate for using the flashlight on your phone.
Flashlight's rough.
But yeah. Click the little light on and start following the trail of footprints. And using the light to like scout ahead as far as you can see. Just seems to lead off down towards the end.
I mean, I'll follow it for as long as I can without somebody kind of questioning why I'm in that area. But if it starts to look like people are like kind of noticing, or if the crew quarters, like somebody kind of walks out of a door and sees me, I'll probably just like, oh, this isn't the way to the bathroom, is it?
Well,
Wrong turn. Still getting my sea legs.
I would say that Calendash, you have seen multiple groups of guests, and you kind of start to recognize when someone starts going off to maybe somewhere they shouldn't.
Okay.
You like to say anything or just let it happen?
I think I would be curious as to what made her walk off from the rest of the groups. So I would probably like follow her just to see what caught her attention. I think Calendash is less worried about boat etiquette and just like, ooh, what's going on?
Curiosity.
Yeah.
Hear that?
Killed the cat, you know.
That always ends up.
We've got
well
a
for
runner.
everyone.
Yeah. Well, let's just say he's getting clumsy in his old age.
Oh no.
So I probably hear him follow me after a little bit if he's clumsy.
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably get about 20 feet down the hall and then hear footsteps echoing the hallway.
I kind of do that quick little like like I do that quick little look back and like thinking I'm not gonna see anything, but like I'm like kind of just that like, am I being paranoid? I think I might be being paranoid, but let me just check. And then actually seeing someone behind me and do like a
Hello?
hi, sorry. Do you know where the bathroom is by any chance?
Oh, no need to apologize to me, miss. I believe the bathroom's back this way. What brings you down these corridors?
Uh, wrong turn. Still kind of. I mean, I've never been on this boat before, so kind of just
Hmm.
trying to figure things out, see where stuff is, see if there's any cool things hidden behind one of these doors. Again, dry
Oh,
humor. Just...
well, there's not much dry humor on the shore, offshore. Sorry.
So wet.
um, oh, it's best not to get too curious around these ship mechanical parts. Might lose a hand. And he holds up his hand like with a finger down.
She'll like almost instinctively go to like put her hands to her face, but like stop
Oh,
herself to like not react and be like, "Oh, I
he just like lifts his pinky. Oh, gotcha.
still
Uh,
still a little bit of a still a bit of a fright." So I guess you're right, and she'll kind of start walking like back towards you and kind of uh just I guess she'll kind of just start kind of trying to fall in line with you if you start walking with her in the opposite direction. Um
as you start walking towards him in the hallway, he actually tries to squint like past you down the hallway to try and get an idea of what you might have been like looking for. Uh, does he
Down
see
there?
anything? Nothing. Mm-hmm. Pretty dark in here. Lighting must not be working.
it's like this. I know the captain said there were some things that were probably broken, but uh are the lights always
Hmm.
non-existent down here?
They're usually working. At least they were last time I took the ride. But this is a new captain that I'm used to.
Um, have you ever so you're familiar with the crew then if you've been on
Hmm.
this boat before, maybe?
They change people out quite often on these docks. It's
There's no
hard to keep a man around.
seasonal work. Whenever,
Hmm.
you know, fishing boats come back to shore and they don't plan on leaving for a while, they might sign up with one of these tourist boats for a month or two. So yeah, it changes pretty frequently.
Okay. Um, well, I guess I should have figured that.
Why have you seen some of the crew acting a little sus, as the kids say? Dash plays Among Us with his old friends.
Um, Ada definitely has not played Among Us. So I like Lonnie really wants to make a yeah, we think we need to find an imposter here.
Right?
But Ada's like, um, suspicious. Well, it kind of looks like one of the crewmates might have tracked some mud or something. I don't really know too much about it, but it seems like it's a bit dirty down here.
Can Dash like squat down on the floor and see if he sees anything?
Oh, there's definitely mud. Yeah, from everyone walking aboard and trampling all over the deck. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He does that old man. He just like wipes a finger on the ground and then like, hmm, could use a good spit shine.
Is it
Doesn't
only
seem
is it
doesn't
only
seem
mud
out of the
for him?
ordinary.
Yeah, Only mud down. What else were there?
Just a little dirty. Maybe some sea salt grime.
Kind of shake her head and, of course, obviously, I can't imagine that everyone has perfectly clean shoes walking around after mucking in the water and prepping everything and going in the engine room. And she'll just kind of shake her head and anyway, what was your name again? I'm sorry.
Oh, very sorry. Calendash Bedford. You can call me Cal.
Ada, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Ada.
So you've done this trip before?
Oh, a few times, a few times. The, the boat owner lets me ride the boat every now and then, do some spear fishing off the side.
Oh, good. You'll have to teach me a few things. I wanted to have this weekend be a little bit of a getaway. So, maybe I'll have to pick up a new hobby.
Oh, I'll let you give Sheila a good old toss then.
Um,
He's just kind of casually walking back up the stairs now.
you're walking away from me?
Yeah.
Okay, Sheila. Yep. Pleasure. And she'll kind of just stay at the bottom of the stairs for a second and just like, what?
Well,
He's whistling the Andy Griffith theme as he goes up the stairs.
Oh man.
that would be terrifying to hear. Like,
Echoed on a ship and like
Yep.
Yep, okay. Fantastic.
well,
Yep.
I'm gonna jump over to Mira and two of you talking about potential murderers. Were the two of you not like break rest area?
Yeah.
Mira, you have your notebook, correct?
Yeah.
The two of you are discussing, strategizing, limiting suspects. Start to kind of just like absent-mindedly flip through, going past pages upon pages of notes. And just from the corner of your eye, as you're flipping, you'd notice that the writing has changed from yours. It is no longer your writing that is filling the page after page of your.
Is it legible?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, it just says one thing over and over.
What?
She did it. She did it. Did it. Over, over, and
I don't see that though. I just see her
yeah,
handwriting.
she's. You just saw her kind of flipping through it. The two of you were talking from across the table, and then she just looked down at her note.
Okay.
Mira is gonna kind of frantically flip through to see how many pages are like that, and if she can recognize the handwriting.
I would say that you wouldn't recognize it, but every page you're flipping to says she did it over and over, hundreds of times.
Did you touch my notebook at all?
No. You'd
Like this
murder me
many-
if I did.
This many pages all just say one thing. Like, it's very all work and no play make Jack a dull boy type. It doesn't say that, but it's all like that's a lot of time.
I'll take the book from her and look at the pages. And they'd look like just her notes, right?
I mean, some of the pages are a little damp from being aboard a ship.
But it's not the same thing over and over again. Yeah. No. Your notes. Are you Do you get seasick? Because I think you might be getting seasick. And I'll just hand the book back.
I look back down. Is it does it still say she did it?
No.
Are you good? Like, do you need to? I might
I'm
maybe have some Dramamine, maybe
I'm
left over.
I'm gonna go above. I'm gonna go above board.
Okay.
I'm gonna close the book, and I think it's one of those like weird bindery type notebooks that like isn't a full notebook, but isn't full like put it in your pocket, but like with some muscle and like can do attitude. It like goes in a cargo pant pocket, and when she stands up, she like bangs her hip on the table, like knocks her hips into everything while she's like trying to get out and get upstairs, and you hear like a fuck as she hits her head on like one of the, and then the ka-dunk as she like misses the rim that you're supposed to step over and gets a toe stuck on it. Like, son of a bitch.
I think Izzy's just sitting at the table and just has that look of like, well, she's my friend, and doesn't even look at the stats. She's just staring ahead, just like, God damn it, my friend.
Well, two things. First, it is the top of the hour, so everybody please draw a card.
Okay.
And
Ooh.
just
God
let me
damn it.
know if you got a haunt card.
Nope.
There's our
I
first
did.
haunt card.
Oh no.
So,
How? How?
as Mira, you step out through the bulkhead and kind of come face to face with Al. Uh, it's not Ada, it's Ada.
Odd.
Ada?
Yeah.
As you
Think
kind of come
Ada
face to
Ada.
face with Cal and Ada, that's there would be this almost deafening screech and groan of metal. You know, one of those massive bulkhead doors starts pulling, and from the room that you had just left, that heavy door just comes to a slamming close.
I'm sorry.
Ooh.
I, I
Is he
Did a
still?
breeze go through?
Is he still in the room? Which
Yep.
you can all see through the bulkhead window. Is he? What to do?
I mean, she's probably gonna see if she has a signal on her phone.
What do you typically keep your battery at?
Tries to keep it charged, but I would say being pulled from a shift and coming straight out, it's probably gonna start at like 75, maybe if she's lucky.
Start at 75
All right,
and drop it by 12.
got it.
Do want to say that Cal has a phone, but it's definitely like
Is it one of the old flip phones?
It's a Nokia,
I
isn't
was,
it?
no, I was gonna.
No, they
Well, I think Robin's a little close. I was gonna say it's like a 2008 Razor.
aw pink.
There are flip phones that are still working on the network currently. They're barely there, but they do exist. We have a friend who still uses one. Trust me, I know.
So funny.
Yeah, not the Nokia, sadly, because those things break other things. But
Yeah, no, that's
Could be your item right there.
right,
Yeah,
a Nokia
modern
hand.
day Warhammer made out of a
Yes.
Nokia.
Yeah, you pull out your phone. It does take a moment, but it does flick to life. At a very similar moment, the rest of the power in the room drop, leaving only the light from your phone.
Well, shit.
The rest of you see that power cut off. A few seconds later, kind of flicker back to life. As Izzy's standing there holding up the phone, you all see the shadows in the room still kind of lingering, even as the light flickers back on, elongating, almost like something was just extending fingers out around Izzy.
Cal tries to open the door.
Very solidly locked.
It's not budging. It's not budging.
Is it
He's
a
like-
pull? Maybe it's a pull.
he's, he's trying both ways.
Yeah, I mean, if the two of you would like to make our very first rolls for the game,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
sure.
it, do it, do it.
Now, you will have to explain to me again how the rolling system works for this.
so you're rolling 3d6, and this will be a frailty roll, which means that
Uh-oh.
you are trying to roll above your frailty score.
Okay.
No, sorry, this will be a medium roll, so you're taking the middle dice.
Okay. I got a 2, a 2, and a 6.
I got a 2-2-3, and my frailty is a 5. I am helping in the most
What's Cal's
generous.
frailty?
My frailty is 2, and
So you-
meets and fails.
Tied it. The two of you just start yanking on that kind of twist lever that unseals
Mhm.
the bulkhead, and it's grinding in resistance, but not budging.
Do I hear any of that?
You'd see the two of them kind of like frantically trying to pull on the handle.
I think Izzy would look at Mirror through the window like, I'll go over and try and open the door.
Light goes out again.
Is there light from through the window though?
Very, very faint light.
I'll go towards the light. As bad as that is to say in a game like this.
Right?
Right? I'll put the phone away. So, shut the screen off, put the phone away in my... I have a scrub top pocket. And I will go over and try and open the door then.
Yeah.
If I can.
Gets to your side of the door to kind of feel around a little bit, because it is a tiny bulkhead
A tiny
window.
little... yeah.
But yeah, a medium frailty.
Gets me in the general vicinity of where that porthole is. Yeah. 4. My frailty is a 2.
4 was your middle die.
4 is my middle.
Start pulling on your side, the two of them pulling from the other side, and it does eventually start to screech as unwillingly it does. The latch starts its way, unlocking. Metal rods that jam into the door frames start retracting. Even that little bit of light from that bulkhead window does fade, leaving purely in the dark.
Okay.
Hear the door finally click open. Hear the others talking. Hear yourself talking. And you hear yourself step out of the room, continuing on this conversation. That door just slow comes to.
But I don't physically see any of that. Okay. Is it like an out of body experience?
Could be. I will jump to the rest of you. Finally get that door, that latch undone. Start swinging the door open. The lights flick back on. And Izzy's there, still with that same confused expression. Just steps out of the room.
Yeah, come on. No closed rooms.
I
Not in
think
the
Cal
broken ship.
Cal actually pushes past Izzy and kind of leaves her caretaking to Mira, and it looks around the room to see if he can find like the source of those shadows.
As Cal is in the Izzy can kind of see outline. Figure that you recognize this ship with you. Almost like the two of you were just barely in different places. Looking, voice in your ear. Don't say a word. No, you deserve to live. Just let the rest of them.
I think she's gonna try and reach out for Cal.
Yeah. Kind of break this bonds that you quite realize were there. This restraint that's really holding you all that well. Fading, whispered voice. Had your chance. And you find yourself walking alongside Joanne, or probably headed towards the stairs back towards the upper deck.
So it was a full snap from in the
Full
room
snap.
to just a. Okay, so as
And
soon as that connection hits, she's just gonna.
Okay. See, I told you. Listen, I don't think Captain's Ishmael, but I do not like the idea of being on a boat with doors what do not open if it is as janky as it is. I've seen Pearl Harbor, I've seen World War II movies. It will not be me. I saw Lost. Upper deck. Where's the married couple? Where are they scrumping? We need to make sure
I
that everybody is outside of a door.
I don't know where they are, and she's just gonna follow Mira up the steps. Like, she's still trying to process what just happened.
Izzy, would you draw another card and make a
Yep.
cowardice test, please?
Okay. Still not a haunt suit. My cowardice is a 2.
Your medium die needs to be a 1.
Uh, my medium is a 5.
So your stress goes up a little.
So am I uneasy? I would say that definitely fits.
You're up to
Cool.
tense.
Oh
Everyone
shit!
starts at uneasy.
We start at uneasy.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
we
please.
shit!
started
Oh
uneasy.
no.
Oh no! All right, let's just
I'm
go ahead and mark that
always
down.
uneasy.
All
That's
right,
normal day for me.
That's
Let's
just yeah,
go.
that's just me 24/7. That's just
just what we love to
Robin. That's not
see.
even counting.
Yeah, so we're just
All right.
listen, we're gonna be not in enclosed areas for a while. Buddy system. I'm sorry that I was gonna leave you. Um, let's go see if we can find a place on the deck to sit down, like if there's some sort of bench that's not gonna give you tetanus. And you
I mean,
doing okay? And she's
you're a
gonna
grown
like,
ass adult. You're stop it. You're a grown ass adult. I'm a grown ass adult. If you wanted to walk away, that's fine. I didn't know you slept. I didn't know you closed the door behind you.
I didn't. Yeah, I bumped my shit into everything, but I didn't close the door. I didn't think. I mean, I know I've got a big butt, but I didn't think that like the
Okay.
door would slam.
So did you pass the married couple on the way?
I was with you, and then there was that little hallway, and there was no married couple there. Maybe they're on the dock, not on the dock, on the
On the
above
deck?
deck,
All
or
right.
maybe they're like
Lead.
In the
lead,
crow's
lead,
nest?
Lead.
Okay.
Two of
Hello.
you would step out, hit that thick fog. The point where you can about hold your hand at arm's length, and that's about how far you can.
Well, their photos are gonna be shit.
Fair.
We're gonna Scooby Gang this. Hold my hand.
Seriously.
Hold my hand.
What am I, 5 now?
Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. My brain has too many jokes for a horror game.
What's That's fine. Al, is you are in kind of that break area. You know that beyond that, it's the rest area with the cots and chairs. But even as you hear the others start leaving, heading for the upper deck, hear someone else like step into the door frame. The new crew then appears in and stares at you. Just
Yeah,
you're
I'm like
looking
looking
around
under
the room.
tables. Yeah.
Yeah, doing down there.
I could have sworn I saw something. Don't mind me, son.
And he starts scratching his cap and walking out of the room.
Still stand there in the door frame, two of you, face to face. Saw something. What was it?
I'm not sure you'd believe me if I told you.
Try me.
Tendrils, shadows, reaching out, trying to get that girl earlier.
Shadows can do that? What chicks in your mind, I mean.
Yeah, tricks.
Thank you for telling me.
Mm-hmm.
Step
Anything else?
inside.
Okay, I was gonna say. And he just kind of and goes on by him.
Dude's gonna get a spray bottle and go after the shadow beast.
I think he will head towards the deck.
Is Otto doing the same?
At this point, it seems like everyone's kind of doing that. It wouldn't really be smart to try to go off alone right now.
The only individual that also stopped you from investigating earlier now has.
Is there light?
Your phone.
I dropped my phone like 13% though. Yeah, I'll see Calendash go up the stairs and kind of have one of those moments of, let me just double check. And she'll go without the flashlight for the first little bit, just kind of remembering where she saw the footsteps, because she tried to kind of see ahead a little bit. And then when she gets to the point where she knows that she probably didn't see much further beyond that point, she'll turn it back on again.
It's a good 20, 25 feet down. Without a light, it is pretty dark.
She'll probably like kind of have one hand like kind of on the wall guiding a little bit so she doesn't keep bumping into it, so it's kind of just like guiding her.
You get to the point where it's pretty well pitch black.
And I'll turn on the flashlight.
Only 5%.
Cool. Okay.
Ooh.
I can handle that.
Wait, Wait, only 5% down, or the phone's only at 5%?
5% down.
Okay.
Loss. Yeah, loss,
My
yeah,
brain went
okay.
the other way.
Oh, I was relieved. I was like, oh my god, only 5%.
You're in
Yeah.
roaming now. You're screwed.
Yeah. Flick the light on. See further down the hall, and it looks like it extends a good 50, 60 feet further, and that's just as far as you can see with the light. It just goes.
And that's still, those footprints are going all the way down that stretch.
Absolutely.
She'll follow it for a little bit longer, but I feel like if eventually she doesn't see the end of the footprint, well, actually, she's gonna look down again and kind of, does it still look like blood to her?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. She'll follow it for a little bit longer, but I feel like if she like keeps going and it seems like it's just like one of those never-ending hallways, eventually I think it's gonna just not seem worth it. She's gonna get lost.
Walking on and on and on, thinking that something's wrong. Like maybe there's just a circular corridor or something that you've stumbled into somehow, but the ship isn't this. You've been walking longer than this ship, possibly. Just looking back the way you'd come, turning your light source behind you. It is pitch black. There at the edge of the light. It's like a person
Ahead of me or behind me?
behind you.
Palandash? And she'll kind of like move a little bit backwards and try to like aim her phone up a little bit higher. To see if it'll illuminate them.
Yeah, every little inch forward, even just like extending the phone out with your hand, you see more and more of the person. Notice that the footprints seem to be originating from them. It's the same young man that greeted you in the stairs. Though it's fairly new overalls and fishing attire are now stained lines of crimson that run down from what's hard to tell is just a mass of dark in the chest area. But there seems to be blood just spilling down from it.
Oh my god, um are you okay? Do you want me to do I need to, what happened? Do I need to bring you to the infirmary or oh gosh. Were you, are you okay?
Taking one unsteady step towards you. Another.
Okay,
Another.
hey. It's okay. Why don't we start walking back the other way? Because I know that's where people are, and we can make sure. I think there was a nurse with our group. Maybe she can help you.
Slow steps start to turn. A walk. Then into a light jog. He is starting to quickly close the gap between.
Okay. So, how thick is it? How like wide is this hallway? Like, is that something where I can try to like maneuver underneath him, kind of thing, or can I? Do I
3
just need to
feet.
start running? Okay. I do the typical slasher flick type run where you're kind of like running, but you keep looking behind you to see if they're still behind you because he seems like he's. I don't know.
He's full on in a sprint by this.
Good thing one of my skills is triathlon runner. I'm
Hey.
booking it.
Two of you would just take off down the hall. Him uncomfortably close behind you. Now every footstep ear just is a squish as it is just soaked in something every single step.
You must be fine if you can run like this.
Look back one last time.
I think she'll still be running for a few extra feet before it really registers that, like, wait, he's not there anymore?
By
And
then,
then she'll let herself slow to a stop.
immediately just comes slamming into someone, sending the two of you to the deck. That same young man just looking at you. Um, sorry, you didn't know what you were running from. All right.
I'll kind of like look him up and down a little bit just to does he still have any
What?
open wounds?
Of course not.
Sorry. I I must have taken a wrong turn. I keep getting lost on this boat. Jeez.
It's not that big.
You know, you say that, but for someone like me who works in some small spaces, this can still get lost. Um, I'm sorry, and if I like knocked him over or something like that, I'll try to help him up.
Where are you
Um,
running from?
it, no, nothing. I don't know. For a second, guess the I haven't been on a lot of boats, so I guess this is kind of playing tricks on my head a little bit. Just being in a dark hallway, I thought I heard something, but I guess it was nothing.
I understand. You get out into the open waters, sometimes your imagination, it just goes wild. So,
Yeah.
if you need to talk about it, I don't got much to do other than keep you all safe, so hit me.
Oh. I'm
Don't
not gonna hit
actually
you.
hit me, but
Okay.
if
Yeah.
if your imagination's going wild, sometimes it helps to talk about.
Uh, you know, it's nothing. It's okay. I think if this keeps happening, I'll come and find you. But for right now, I must just I don't know. I'm used to being the one talking, listening to other people talk, so I'm not good at talking about myself. Um, but thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course. And like the helping up to his feet, he'll just kind of brush himself off a little. Uh, well, I guess I should get back to killing everyone.
What was
I said I should get back to work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, um take care of yourself.
Yeah, of
And everybody else, obviously. I know you're here to keep us safe, so thank you.
course. Um,
Um
try not to go running down the halls anymore.
you can take a girl away from the marathon, but you can't take the marathon out of the girl, I guess.
Well, when we get to
Um
the island, plenty of room. You can do all the running you want.
I heard running on sand is a pretty good workout, so maybe that'll help get some whatever this pent-up energy is.
Yeah, helps you live
Um,
longer.
Yeah. Yeah. Not cryptic at all. Yeah.
What was
Not
that?
cryptic.
Nothing. Sorry. Like I said, just had a little scare for a second, but just catching my brains back and
And like do that awkward side brush past you. Maybe he can head down through area and leaves you alone in the hallway.
I kind of like when he's a little bit further away, I kind of look like kind of watch him watch him walk away a little bit and kind of is still just looking to see if there's any sign of blood on him, like anything that even looks like suspicious, I guess.
He's leaving that trail of footprints.
Like blood again?
Would certainly seem like it.
She just shakes her head and she's like, maybe I should have made sure I was more used to boats before I came out one for a 4-hour trip. And she'll go up to the deck and look out to the fog that she can't see past. But she's trying to. She's really trying to will herself to be able to see through the fog.
Or you'd hear at least the other passenger. Well, maybe just Joanne. Or not Joanne.
You hear Calendash is now humming the theme to Gilligan's Island.
Probably hear Mira and Izzy loudly discussing. And of course the theme to Gilligan's Island.
3-hour tour.
So, just so I understand correctly, we're going towards an island, and then we'll have like a little break on the island, then come back, right?
Yep.
You said lunch.
Lunch. What did I say? I'm just...
Lunch. Well, you said break. Lunch, break. You know.
Well, you know, the 2 hours and then the lunch and the 2 hours also kind of seem suspiciously like the length of a stream. It's kind of convenient how that works out, you know?
I know what you're talking about.
Crazy,
Either
I know.
way. Either way.
It's just me hallucinating on the boat again. I don't know. I will ask, Hoop, does this seem like it's a pretty deep part of the water that we're in right now?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Also, I do need you to draw a card and make a cowardice test.
Okay. So far, I have suspiciously all of the same suit, and it's all a safe suit. And I'm worried that there's gonna be like, what?
Same here. I'm not getting
it's
any.
weird.
Yeah.
What are you putting out there in the universe?
I know. I just screwed myself, and the rest of them are gonna be my haunt.
Do we start with any willpower, or we have to build that?
I think
We start
5,
with
right?
5.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I need that in the future.
Ooh. What was the difficulty?
Medium.
Cool. I rolled 2 6s and a 4, so I'm good.
Yeah. That's almost a crit. Yeah.
I know.
Don't raise your stress level, but you still do draw the card.
Yep. Already did that. But so I don't see anyone around me right now, right?
I'm sure you can kind of like see figures in the fog and you can hear people talking.
Okay. I think because she can hear people pretty clearly, she just kind of like has her hand in her pocket and is kind of just fingering what's in that pocket, but she's just gonna kind of stare out into the fog.
Well, rest of you, I mean, you're all aboard the deck, upper deck.
Where's that married couple at?
I haven't seen them since you've been aboard.
Wanna take a lap?
We were taking a lap.
Yeah.
Actively.
Yeah, Mira and Izzy are actively taking a lap to see if we can find them.
Yeah.
Just kind of, if you can't see, just kind of wave your hand a little bit. If we accidentally deck somebody, we'll apologize profusely. Do you notice, I didn't see them go downstairs with us.
No, but I also wasn't really paying attention. I was focused on you and your crazy, my book says the same thing.
Okay, but that was like when we were already down there.
Right.
I ain't like hit the dock and be like, my book's gone weird. It was while we were looking at stuff.
Right.
So like, we got on the boat, Captain said, hey, get on my boat.
I mean,
And
they
he went-
talked to that older fisherman.
Right, on the dock.
Right.
And then, is this one of those boats where, like, the captain's, I don't know, the boat driving steering place,
The helm.
helm, thank you, that's got its own little room and it's
Yes.
elevated, right?
Yep.
So it's not where we were below deck.
No, you'd have to take the stairs up, but it's the only thing up there. That in kind of the area.
Let's go see if we can find Captain in the boat driving room.
Sure.
We could at least be able to see if the Marrieds are around.
If the two of you are just doing a lap around the deck
Yeah.
of the ship,
Yeah.
by about the hour point, maybe a little past that,
Poppers.
Look at that, poppers.
you'd hear a kind of muffled conversation like they were talking through a door. Then hear some movement and hear like one of the metal doors being shut behind them as they step out. Seem to be almost like giddy.
Izzy will sigh.
Is there a boat version of the Mile High Club?
The Sea Level Club.
It's a
Sea level
nautical
club?
club.
Not
Why?
Pickle Club.
You're
Naughty.
Your brain.
Nautical club.
Ah!
There it is.
There it is.
Mira, hun, I love you. You're great, but you can't keep trying to see a true crime in every little single thing.
This is not trying to see a true crime at this point in time. This is trying not to be a group of 12 people what drowned under sad OSHA violations what are on this boat.
The married couple kind of still like, straightening out their clothes. Oh, uh, didn't know there's anyone out here. Are we about to land? We for lunch?
No clue, because if you can't tell, and she kind of waves a hand through the fog.
Yeah, we noticed that. Figured
Yeah.
the captain could tell we where we're going.
Hasn't said anything yet, so
Yeah,
you may have another time for a quickie.
No, we were just exploring the
Uh-huh.
ship.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Exploring.
Dilated pupils, flushed skin, probably an elevated heart rate. No, probably not. You probably got time. Go on, you can scuttle.
Did you just check up them?
I did. I pulled a fucking Sherlock, man.
Oh my god.
Gets past Izzy. Ah.
That was some like school nurse shit.
Oh yeah, totally.
The wife
I mean,
just
you're married. You don't have to save space for the Holy Spirit anymore. You can just
the wife
never
would just
flirt
kind
for
of
me.
like just giggle and like step closer, in front of her husband. It's a vacation. You understand.
Oh, I do. It's fine. I'm just saying. We have no idea where we are right now. Like, Captain hasn't said shit, so feel free. And it's just one of those, like, she's not trying to be catty, but it's just like her nature to be catty. Like, it's that fine line between sarcasm and being a bitch.
You could you see the two of them kind of like exchange a look, and very quietly, the wife, if you're not doing anything, maybe we're interested. The husband is just like shaking his head, just oh, come on, this not right now.
Sorry.
She is speechless at that comment. She's just kind of it's that gif of the guy blinking like, I'm sorry. It's just processing.
Oh, come on, she'd
Well-
be perfect, right? Ignore her, please. She's just excited.
Uh-huh.
Perfect for a sacrifice.
Mira is literally Mira is literally just holding Izzy's hand and watching the exchange.
Watching Izzy short circuit for a second. Like, Mira has seen this before, but it's very rare. Because Izzy's usually quick as a whip and right on it. But, like, Izzy's just like, like, not verbally, but just like, twitch.
Caught up in the moment a little bit.
Yeah.
Mira also is having a moment of like, am I not a full person here? Holding hand. What?
Oh.
Am
Very
I?
much in the room right now.
Yeah.
I apologize for my wife. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It just
We're gonna head below deck. Maybe
yeah,
get ready for the
below
lunch.
below deck.
Yeah.
It's all dark down there. The power went out in that rec room thing that they've got down there.
That's fine.
Yeah. Have fun. And she'll move to the side. And just wait.
Yeah, they would just walk past.
Mhm.
Kind of like the husband's still putting on that like,
Yeah.
and then as soon as they think they're out of earshot, they both resume like that like married giddiness, and then disappear in the fog.
Mira, what just happened?
No.
I,
Join the nautical club.
I'm
We caught them. You were a heinous bitch.
like always.
They invited you to mash bathing suit areas together.
Normally, me being a heinous bitch does not get that reaction.
I mean, I think that's why you blue screened for a minute. There was just the whole pinwheel and everything. And like,
Beach ball of death. Yep. Okay.
on
All right.
one hand, I don't want to kink shame. Sex positivity all the way. But also, I'm actively holding your hand and a whole human woman. They don't know if we're roommates or dating or whatnot. And he's just like, or no, wasn't him. It was her. Just like, you want to fuck? I got a mediocre dick right here.
So
and...
I think we're having this conversation as we're walking back now that we've found the married couple.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I'm loud enough that like if we're passing where they'd be, it's like, yeah, I got mediocre dick right here. You want to share? Like.
Well, Moon Raccoon, thank you so much for the villain point. I'll put it to
no.
use immediately.
Oh
No,
goodness.
no.
I don't think it's on me. It's fine.
Cal, as you hear the others walking past you, humming your tune, walking along the edge of the ship. Your foot just, like, you feel yourself kick something. Even just kind of feeling along, you can sense that it's one of the mooring ropes. It's typically hung up out of the walking path, so someone's not going to trip on it. But this seems to just kind of splayed out on the ground and actually looks like it was drug off somewhere.
He kneels down.
This is not properly tied up. I should put this away.
And he starts just like wrapping the rope and following where it's coming from.
At first, it's just like, loosely winding rope, and then it hits the point where it's a little more weight to it, and actually are dragging something on the deck.
I'll try to walk to it to meet it.
It's maybe 15 feet out, but you'd first see like the.
Oh, is it like over the edge of the boat?
Nope, it's just on the deck with you.
Oh, okay, it's on the deck. Okay.
You can see like the end of like a plastic zipped bag. The closer you get, the more you can see, the more that that bag actually extends out almost like a full body bag.
Oh.
He still continues walking towards it.
Get up to the
He's
base of it,
kind of more tentatively now.
kind of wiggles a little bit every once in a while. Something in it.
It wiggles. He is-
Hello? Is someone in there?
The outline of hands just push up against the plastic.
he like recoils a bit.
Give me a moment.
He starts trying to find the opening.
Yeah. It's right there on top.
He unzips it.
Immediately, the hands will reach out to try to pull you in.
Oh fuck!
Ah!
We're going to make it the first contested roll, which is just
Oh,
a medium
goodness.
check. I just need to know
Okay.
how many you have of a 4 or higher. Sorry, not a medium check.
Oh.
It is just you're rolling 3 dice, and you need to know how many 4 or higher you get.
Okay. I have 2 5s.
I got crit.
Fuck
No!
off.
No! You have willpower.
Oh my
Reroll.
You do have willpower.
Okay, yeah. I guess I'll use a.
And
Is
you're-
it just I use 1 willpower to re-roll?
Yep.
Yeah, you're at uneasy, so you can spend 1 to reroll all 3 of them.
Or
Okay.
keep
So
however
crit-
many you want.
Wait, so a crit is you rolled 3
3
sixes?
sixes.
Yeah, he rolled 3 6s.
I mean, I
So
can't
you'd have
beat
to
that unless I
perfectly match
also
that.
roll 3 6s.
You might as well reroll all 3 since he crit. It's worth a shot. It's up to you.
The degree of separation between success also matters. So even if
Okay.
you had just 3 normal successes, that would be better than just 2 successes.
Okay, well then I will re-roll my 2 that I rolled
Okay.
and try to get a higher number. That's a 6.
Yeah!
That is 3 successes. It's the feeling of just icy cold touch just grabbing onto your forearms and pulling you down, with both of your arms just sinking into this black goo. It's not quite enough to bring your shoulders and your head down, so you still have the ability to breathe and shout. And I'll give you a moment if you would like to say anything before we roll again.
Yeah, he starts like shouting, "Help!
Help! It's got me!
as he's like being dragged in.
Oda, I definitely put you the closest to this. And we'll roll again. Ugh. I only got 2 successes.
Whoops. That is a 4, a 6, and a 6.
That's 3 successes. You start pulling against it, actually getting one arm free. Oda, you hear these cries for help.
Ada.
Ada, thank you.
I was like, who
I
is
was like, Oda-san is here with us.
Ada, thank you.
Okay, so you
That's a good way to
you said
remember
that I was the closest to okay. Where did you say that Calendash was again? When this was happening?
On the upper deck.
On the upper Okay, yeah. I'm already kind of spooked, so I kind of just start running in the general direction, but once I like hear it once I get closer, I think I slow down a little bit so I don't just run into anything because I can't see too far ahead of me.
Yeah, it'd be steps, maybe like 3 long strided steps, and you would see Cal just one arm inside this body bag, desperately trying to play tug of war against something.
Oh my god. And she will like go to try to see if she can like grab like the upper part of the arm that's still stuck in there, like almost like the shoulder, and kind of see if she can help like pull it back. Do I have to roll for that, I'm guessing?
Um, you can roll, or you could just make the check easier for Cal.
I will, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so
Okay.
Cal, you only need 3+ instead of 4+.
Bad screen.
That's the bad
Reconnected.
screen.
There it is.
We're good.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
All right. How many successes?
I had a
Drop
4,
it
5,
down.
and a 6.
There we go.
Yeah. That beats my 1 success. Definitely.
Hell yeah.
As it finally does let go, the two of you are just kind of thrown back, sitting there next to that still open body bag. And one hand just like reaches out, grabs the zipper, and just starts pulling it back closed.
I think when Otto was trying to help kind of pull his shoulder back, I think once he like got loose, she almost like falls backwards, and she kind of just does this thing where she like throws up her arms. She's like, "What is happening on this boat?"
I need both of you to
Are
draw
you-
a card, and both of
Yeah.
you to make a cowardice check.
Haha. Great. Let me beat 5.
Oh, I have a 4, so this, yeah, and this is medium.
Idiot.
Yeah, medium.
I don't know how, but I rolled 2 6s and a 4 again. I wish, like,
Holy crap.
I
No,
hope
I
this
got
continues. I don't know.
I got a 2, 4, and 5.
So you needed to
Oh, you needed a 5.
Yeah.
I needed a 5.
get a 4. Yeah.
I got a 4.
So you are now up to 10s.
Gotcha.
Both get
Join
your
the
cards.
club.
And at the top of the hour, everyone can draw another card.
Yippee!
Okay, let me draw my card.
And
I
We
swear I
draw-
shuffled this deck, but I keep getting the same suit. This is actually really weird.
That's-
I got another haunt.
that was a virtue card for me.
right, virtue gives you willpower.
Yeah. I'm gonna need it.
Kian, thank you for the villain point. We'll get to see the effects of that
How many?
just as soon as we're back from break.
Yay!
That foghorn sounds in the boat kind of slows and collides with something bouncing off a little bit. And again, over the intercom, you hear the captain's voice. We're here. That
I don't.
where we are going to stop and take a quick break. Give everyone a
Oh my
chance
God.
to breathe, to stretch your legs, to grab a drink, do what you got to do.
Make sure our
And-
decks are properly shuffled.
I swear I was like literally playing with it for like 10 minutes, just kind
Me
of like
too.
in my hands doing that
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
I have no idea, but it's all been safe cards so far, and I'm just
Well,
thankful.
we'll come back in just a few minutes and kick off the second half of this Locus one shot. See you soon, everybody.
See you in a bit.
And welcome back. Where we left off, we had finally reached our destination, the Picnic Island, where travelers and vacationists will come spend a lovely afternoon basking in the sun off of the coast of Maine and just get a beautiful view of the water. The fog has receded a bit. You can see a majority of the island, see the ship that you're all on. But outside of that, things remain fairly invisible, non-visible.
So we actually made it to the island that we were hoping for, correct?
Mhm.
or that we think
At least
at
that
least.
we know of.
Well, because like there was a bunch of fog, and they were like, "I think I know. I think the captain knows where we're going."
There was a few I thinks in there,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Calendash is disembarking and is taking a deep breath of the island air.
Good air to my head, good.
You all hear like that married couple calling out to one of the sailors, like, "Hey, could you help us get our picnic stuff out? We want to bring it onto the island. It's kind of heavy." That. Yes, ma'am. And then, but all they head below deck to help pull up the like 4 bags of luggage that this couple brought on board.
Jeez.
4 bags
For a picnic?
2-hour
It's a big
4-hour
picnic.
round trip.
Well, if you don't have
3-hour
like
tour.
a home or anywhere to leave your stuff, you don't want to leave it in a car just sitting there locked, on a dock.
in the trunk, you do.
I mean, you also don't want to bring it on a boat with a bunch of strangers either. I don't think. If you're not actually gonna use it and like have your own room where you can
Well,
lock
you're-
it in there.
Well, you're
newly-
definitely not gonna leave it on the boat when you're
They're-
not on there.
They're
I mean, I
newly
shouldn't argue
married.
because
They're
this
not
is
gonna think
potentially
about
loot
it.
we could search. So
Loot.
That's fair.
we might
Stop
have to
thinking
search the
like
bodies.
me.
It's like luggage. That just means more items on the field.
That's
Yes.
right. What kind of loot you bring? Is there a coconut radio in there?
My
What kind of
goodness.
loot you drop there, kids? Let's find out.
What loot would you drop?
Not much. Some ADHD meds, some antidepressants, can-do attitude, cat hair, the huge.
Can do attitude. I like that.
So, what would you all like to do?
I'm gonna watch this four baggage unload, and just the inner monologue is just, my God, why?
Yeah, it's like their stuff kind of just gets like hoisted and just thrown up the stairs, and they're left to fully unload themselves. Judging from the time it took to actually get everything up, the crew probably got a little annoyed and just ended up yeeting it and leaving them to do it themselves.
I mean, that's half the way there.
Calendash is going along the shore, and he's gonna try and find like an area that looks like it's gonna be flush with fish, so he can like wade out a little bit into the water and with his spear and start trying to get some.
Mira's gonna look at her binder and be like, now, the discount killer was thought to potentially have hidden some bodies not far from where the boat docks. Apparently, maybe, unless my map is upside down.
Is the look over her shoulder? Is her map upside down?
It's a
I got
matter of
good
perspective.
intelligence.
It's a matter of perspective. Okay.
The problem is some of the online resources I've used, like there's actual map, there's something that some amateur cartographer had drawn using like their drone footage, which is like janky, and like apparently a seagull took out the drone at one point. So it's a little rough. And then also this fog is not helping.
Don't know what to tell you. It's the coast of Maine.
Blaming fog. Just saying.
I'm just saying.
All right.
How far from the docks is this dump site?
And if
What?
you're
It
following
would be
the
a
map,
cold case.
it would alternate because the changing of the low tide and the high tide. So your best bet probably just be circling the island. It's not that big.
Could we do it without getting left behind by the boat?
Yeah, you can see the boat from everywhere in the island. It's really not that big.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is like a spit of land.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
More of a
I was
sandbar.
just gonna
than
ask that. I'm
anything
like,
else.
what kind of island are we talking about here? Are we
It's like a
talking like you get
sandbar.
lost? Are we
It's-
talking tiny little sandbar? Are we talking Nantucket?
It's
Maybe-
not a Lord of the Flies island.
Okay.
Maybe 120 feet in diameter.
Ah,
Okay.
Oh.
I'm totally like, as we're walking, I'm like, I think the newlyweds thought they'd have more privacy with their 4 bags of lug.
Uh-huh.
Give them that corner of the island.
Oh, does Ada say that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
Anna
if
just
Anna's
like,
near you guys. This is just Lonnie.
Anna's just
This
like,
is
"Let's
only
walk."
120. This little spit of land is small enough. You may be able to hear us.
That's
We're not exactly being discreet.
fair. That's fair. There'll
mean,
be
I
that moment where Ada like says something to you guys for the first time outside of like conflict, and then she just kind of is like,
No, no, I
Sorry.
agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Just shove them off the edge. It's fine.
Yelling across the island, just shove them off the edge! Go back to your lunch! You horny preverts!
Calendar.
They're scaring the fish.
He's kind of muttering to himself.
Oh, buddy.
I almost bet money the one camera on the ship is in the room where they fuck.
Probably intentionally.
Izzy will
mean,
laugh
Please,
at
oh
that.
no.
Izzy will actually laugh at that comment.
Of course, Mira's also the one that thought there were CCTV cameras at the docks.
Yep.
Could be. You don't know.
She's one step away from conspiracy theorists, so just go with it.
So close.
Actually, where I live down here, or in Ohio, but I'm not far from a docking area for the people with lots of money and yachts, and there are CCTV cameras like on poles, but it's mainly because that area floods like a mother, and so they're like, look, your boat was down there, now it's up here. Like, it's just...
So
I think after Ada makes that comment and Calendash kind of says that in the distance, she'll be like, "Oh, I did kind of say that I was gonna ask Calendash to teach me how to do fishing, so I'll probably kind of like excuse myself with Izzy and Mira and start heading towards Calendash to see if maybe I can. I think it was Sheila, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as Ada walks away, Izzy just
Forget
like,
what I name
tracks
things
her.
sometimes.
Wait, what?
Izzy just tracks her, like just watches her walk. Just yeah.
Just myself. I'm sorry.
Maybe
Oh, Miss Ada, were you coming for that lesson?
Yeah, if you'd be willing to teach me. We didn't scare the fish too much.
Oh no, don't mind that. Thought I was muttering to myself there. No, please. And here you take hold of Sheila, and now hold it like a walking stick, but only about like halfway up, and keep your eye on your target.
You
And
shoot
strike.
target?
I'm so afraid that Hoop is just gonna tell me I accidentally like
Just,
pull
like,
up a
in my
body
foot.
part as I'm like, sorry.
That would be great.
I'm
Stay on
not
target.
that mean.
here,
Um.
here, I'll assist.
Well,
When your own players are helping you.
your
No.
jab into the water, you would feel impact something.
Is it her own
And
foot?
I like pull it up, kind of excitedly, like, did I do it? And I like, yeah.
It's like a small kind of like well, what is that called? Like the that waxy like baker's paper.
Parchment paper?
That might be it. It's
Or wax paper. It's just wax,
Wax
paper.
Yeah,
paper?
wax paper.
Yeah, there is
yeah.
wax
Yeah.
paper.
it's just like a parchment that's just wrapped in that and just jabbed. Sorry, a parcel, not a parchment. A parcel that.
Oh, parcel. So it's like a package kind
Wax
of thing.
oh.
It's something wrapped in wax paper.
Is it also tied with twine?
You're not there.
I know I'm not there.
You're
I'm
with
just
me.
sorry.
Let the
Horror,
person.
my horror brain is
on her
going. I'm
own.
sorry.
Doesn't look
I'm
like
a
a fish
human
to
woman.
me.
You know, I was thinking the same thing, but I'm glad you confirmed it as a fisherman. I'll pull it off and I'll kind of hand Sheila back for a second. And I'm like, maybe you'll have better luck with an actual fish than me, and I'll just kind of be focused on what I just pulled out of the water.
Unwrapping the wax paper would just be a very thin cloth t-shirt. Unwrapping it further, and it unwraps a note. A lovely ink pen just kind of placed there inside next to it. It says, "Thanks for the assist, Rena."
I like instinctively kind of like just pat my pocket with the other with this in my hand. Do I feel what's usually in that pocket?
There's
still?
nothing in that pocket. See, there is more written on the note, as it was kind of half folded over, like a card.
You
Oh,
know,
Calendash is stabbing at fish.
yeah, I'm not much good at this anyway, I guess. Best of luck to you. And she'll just start walking away before you even react.
Oh, hi, Miss Ada. No worries. Let me know if you'd like to try again. Ida.
Will do. Once she's kind of safer a little bit away from Calendash, she'll see if there's more to the card.
Inside, brief, just a few sentences. You're not going to walk away unless you kill them. I know you can do it.
She crumples up the note and she takes the pen and puts it in her pocket, and she grabs the note and makes sure that it's separated from the parchment paper, and she goes to see if she can just kind of toss it back into the ocean, and hoping it'll just kind of, I don't know, the ink will run or something, but
Go back and hurl it. Lands with a splash.
She'll have a moment where she kind of like tries to see if there's any parts of the island that look like they're separate from everybody else, like if somebody's not in that area.
There's like picnic tables and bathroom, things like that, but about it.
Okay. Are the bathrooms like flushing toilets, or is it like an outhouse kind of situation?
Just a hole in the ground.
Okay. Goes into one of the outhouses, locks the door if there is a lock, and takes the pen out. does the pen have an engraving on it, or no? I got rid of this thing. Or I thought I had it on me, at least. I thought I could get rid of this thing. She'll look into the outhouse, and as disgusting as this is gonna sound, she sees if she can just drop the pen in there.
Yeah.
And just...
Lands with a splash.
And then she'll just kind of stand there for a second, kind of just wringing her hands. And then, after like a few seconds pass, she'll probably try to compose herself and go back out, and it's done. Seems.
Step out of the door, looking at the others. See the married couple who's seemingly been talking about whether or not they need to bring all of their bags and settled on just one. They have a blanket set
Good.
out. They're sharing a lovely lunch. Hard to see what they're eating, but it looks like travel safe foods. Still see Cal over there just busily stabbing away at fish. See Mira, Izzy, plotting something, whatever it is they were talking.
Blood.
I'll just sit down at a one of the picnic tables for a little bit. And I'll grab from one of the other various vests of my fishing or one of the pockets of my fishing vest, and let's like grab a little granola bar and kind of just like pick it like tiny, like literally like pick it apart like grain by grain, just kind of like not really trying to eat, but just absent-minded, like get a little chocolate chip, a little piece of like full piece of oatmeal, and
I feel personally attacked by this.
honestly, you shouldn't have mentioned granola bites. I'm sorry.
But that's also a thing I do when I'm like stressed eating granola, is I
Oh.
like pick it apart.
I used to do that with corn when I was younger too. I'd take every single individual corn kernel off of the cob and just like eat it one by one.
I would take pieces of popcorn and like pick them apart until they were just like the
The
core
centerpiece.
kernel. Yeah.
Oof.
Well,
I get it.
jump over to the two of you that are currently exploring the edge of the water. You talking about the various possible serial killers, talking numbers and strategy, or I'm sure one of you at least is talking and the other is letting you know how ridiculous some of this sounds.
She's just nodding, and just if Mira isn't looking at her, it's the God, just.
Would you both make a easy carelessness roll?
I succeeded.
Go for the highest number, right?
Yep.
Yep.
That is a 6, and I. Can I assist you
What was that?
talking?
One of her cats is trying to assist her.
Oh my gosh.
Foggy. Foggy's my help.
As you both are walking, kind of the water just gently lapping against your shoes, tide comes and goes. Both staring out at the water, actually see something floating down. Just looks like a white mass. A sheet that's just kind of caught on something. Floats along with the
Scoop it up. Littering's bad, y'all.
How far out is it though?
be a foot and a half, 2 feet.
Okay. So you're gonna go get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just have to kind of, wade out a little bit. That's the awkward walk of walking through water that's not deep enough to swim, but it's still too deep to walk through easily. Get out, just reach down into the water, grab onto the sheet, and it's solid on.
Like it's wrapped in something
Like
as a
it's
like
wrapped
something's
around
in it.
something, yeah.
I'm gonna open it up.
Start just like moving the sheet around until you finally get to the edge and pull it off, and it's just a very waterlogged face staring back up at you.
Like a people face?
People face.
There's going to be a
Quote
super
of the night.
cool and calm.
I need you to make a
And I am going
pose
to
check.
panic. I'm gonna panic, and almost like I did when I was younger, and I almost flung a jellyfish at my friend's face when it stung my thighs.
No,
It's
you don't
going
go to.
back
No.
towards Izzy,
You
just in
bitch.
fear.
I need you to make an opposed check,
Mm.
rolling 3d6, and I need you to let me know if you get 5 or higher. I have 3 successes.
I have 2 5s and a 6.
As just this
Does Izzy get kissed by a
scream
people face?
just full on just fills the island, shatters the silence. All of you look over to see Mira just kind of stumbling back. The face is connected underneath to a neck and to shoulders. So just like ripping off the sheet, you fling little bits of water-soaked, white linen back towards the beach, but the face itself remains. And the hands have just kind of, almost mimicking yours, just shot up. And in that moment of staring down, wrapped around your legs, and starts dragging itself down deep.
Help, 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 help.
I will help.
Yeah. You start
Yeah.
running out to the water. You can all now hear the sound of chains, all just
Bodies got
rattling
me.
against themselves as more bodies start just hand after hand pulling themselves up onto the beach from every direction.
Oh.
Body's got me, body's got me, body's got me. No, 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 no,
Callan-
no, no.
Kalandash tries to rush over to help.
Al, you have your own problems.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm helping her. You probably got your own bodies trying to grab
Even
you.
as you
Now the
turn to
fish
start
have
running
spears.
off, something just slams into the back of your knees, tries to grab you, and is going to try to pull you back. So I need contested checks from everyone except for Ada.
Can I stab it?
If you instead would like to make an attack, you can do that.
Yes, I would like to instead make an attack.
Yeah.
For the opposed, what's the target?
It's 5s for all of you except for
5 for
Cal. You're just trying to make a medium frailty check.
Okay,
Oh.
medium frailty check. Okay, I can do that.
I rolled a 6 and a 5 and a 2. Do I use a willpower to try to roll my 2 again?
Certainly can.
Yeah. And
I got
gonna
a 5, a 5, and a 6, and my frailty is 2.
It's an absolute
Damn.
success.
Go Cal.
I rolled a 1.
I'm also going to spend a willpower to re-roll these 2 4s because I got a 4, 4, and a 6. So
Well, I have a 6, a 5, and a 1.
that didn't do me any better. So 1 success.
Izzy, even as you're running out to try to help your friend, something just slams into the front of your knees, causing that just painful, hyperextension
hyper.
of legs. Sends
Bird
you
leg.
to the ground, grabs on, and starts pulling you down.
I've had a hyperextension in real life. I know what that's like. Oh god. Whew.
Ada, You see Cal just stabbing back at something, blood splattering along the water, and Mira and Izzy are slowly being just drug off into.
Guards alone, you monster. Sorry.
Wants to be like, I'm safe. I'm okay. I'm in the middle
You
of the
are
island.
safe.
It's fine.
The
They're out
married
of reach.
couple
They're out of reach.
is
I'm
looking
in the
at you
boat instead.
like,
No,
what
they're
do we
not.
do?
I don't know.
And they're gonna get up and
look
just
very-
run for the boat.
The boat is in the water where the dead people are coming out of. Ah, this is literal typical.
Typical
Slasher
tourist
movie.
behavior.
Literally.
They looked to
Um,
you. You had no answers, so they took off running.
I
They didn't even give her a chance.
okay.
but-
Well, they're screwed. It's fine. I go running towards Calendash and see if there's anything I can do with that. Because like he's alone. So hopefully Izzy and Mira are helping each other, and Calendash and I are helping each other.
Cal, looking back at this figure that you're stabbing, face looks familiar. In fact, all of these faces around you all look familiar. They're all crew that you have known, served with, and probably trusted and or respected.
I think he immediately like for a moment he falters with his like stabs because he sees all these faces of these past people he's been partners with or crewmen with, and he stops stabbing and starts trying to pry and like tries just no, away, get away.
You trying to help free Cal?
Is there a way for me to be able to get to him, or are there bodies even behind him too? Like, can I run to him at least?
Run to him.
Okay. Yeah, I run to him, and I'm trying to just get him out of the water as quickly as possible.
One
Not
of
really
those-
knowing.
One of the waterlogged faces, the neck just like snaps, so the head can turn to look up at you from this broken angle. And just in his gurgled voice, he saw the letter. He knows. He knows. What do you like to do?
I take a few steps back, and I don't think I was that close to the water to begin with. Or like that far into the water, because I think he was kind of shallow fishing, so I like take a few steps back and I mean, I don't even know if he knows what that would have even meant, but I don't know if I should. It's just a faltering, like, mind racing thing. It's not like a I'm gonna sacrifice him thing, but like a would he even, like, just brain overload, like, would he even be able to have understood even if he did see it? Like, oh my god, I don't know. And kind of that sort of thing, like just backing up and like
Enough time to give Cal another chance to attack to pry this thing off. This will be a hard frailty check, since you're no longer trying to kill, but now carefully pry.
Gotcha. Okay. Ooh, it's not
You
good.
have willpower.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my willpower to re-roll those.
So since you're at 10, so you get to reroll 2, not 3.
Yep.
Okay.
But you could spend multiple willpower to roll all of your dice.
Multiple times,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Yeah. So I'm gonna. So you said I was at 10, right? Is that? No, I think I was just at 7.
I trust you
Okay.
either way.
I'm gonna go with I was at 7 because that's what I had written down. And so I'll
Yeah,
drop
you
down
are.
to 4 to to 5 to re-roll 2 of my dice because one of them was a 6 and the other were a 2 and a 1. So nope, that's 2 more 1s.
Okay, so you only spend 1 willpower to re-roll 2 dice when you're at tense.
Oh, okay,
So-
gotcha. Okay.
So you can spend another to re-roll those 2 1s.
Let's try that. That's 1 more success.
Okay. So what is your lowest die?
My lowest die is a 3.
And what's your frailty?
My frailty is 2.
So you're good.
Yeah.
You managed to pry off these cold, waterlogged limbs, just cutting through them with this spear, so you can finally get your legs free and just stumble back towards the beach. Where,
I think as I'm like heading up the shore, if I see Ada, I will just like say, stay back, Miss Ada."
You can see that she definitely will follow that. Like she's like wide-eyed, like,
Yeah.
uh-huh, and like just will take another step back away from you in the
Mira
water.
and Izzy. Need
Yeah.
another contested check. Only 5 pluses count as successes. 3 successes.
I'm spending a willpower.
I'm gonna spend 1 willpower as well. That brings
Now-
me down to 9.
We're getting into the thick of it.
Into the thick of it.
Ah, only 1
Is it the thick of
success.
it?
Woo!
Please.
3 5s. They're not pretty, but it's good.
Mira,
One
you are
success.
fighting and kicking down to about your waist in water, but still managing to keep yourself afloat. Izzy, however, disappears.
Oh shit.
Did she get close to me?
Oh yeah, got almost to you and then got hyperextended knees and then dragged under.
If she came towards me, knowing that my frailty is 6, my clumsiness is 5, I'm gonna try to be like, up! Up! Or at least grab on to
Yeah,
find where she is.
please do. Go with a
Oh,
hard
boy.
frailty check.
Oh no!
You're so screwed.
Oh, yup! That's a 4, 3, and a 1.
Oh god.
So it's a 1.
You just start reaching down. You can still see where the sand has been kicked up, where she was drug away, and you were just trying to reach out to grab something. You grab onto a hand and just squeeze, and the hand squeezes back and starts to squeeze too tight. The nails just digging in and starting to actually cut through the flesh into the tissue underneath, and redoubles its effort to pull you now headfirst into the water. Another contested check, please.
You shouldn't have
Oh.
done that.
Help it!
I only got 2 successes.
Good luck.
I got
Fives
no
in there.
successes that time, so
Spend a
3 willpower.
No, just 1. 1 lets you re-roll all 3.
It does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're uneasy.
Because you're only uneasy.
that's right. That's 2 successes and a fail.
It's enough to keep you locked in that stalemate. You can either... Giving you the choice to either keep that hand locked and just a tug of war or try to rip that hand off of you.
Since I am fairly sure that this is not Izzy pulling,
Probably not
Uh,
Izzy.
I want freedom.
Don't we all?
So I am going to try to rip it off of me. Is that frailty check again?
Nope, no check required.
Your succession, yeah.
However, you can mark off 3 pips from your death's door tracker,
Sure will.
as it does just rip to shreds your wrist and hand and forearm.
Recheck. Minor severity or medium?
Fine. The married couple has now sprinted to the gangplank. Hear the screams as hands are trying to reach up and grab them, and they're just kicking them off, doing what they can. They're getting clawed to ribbons, leaving a trail of blood as they just crawl their way up the gangplank onto the ship. The bodies have now reached kind of the edge of the water and are pulling themselves across the sand towards you all. What to do?
Real quick.
Mhm.
I know when Cal looked at the body fighting, it was it realized that were people he recognized being on this boat or
Mhm.
serving with. Do I recognize any of these people as like waterlogged victims from past cases?
Absolutely.
Or potentially?
Assuming that you want to take a moment to look at their faces, yeah.
At that point,
You and
like
Cal
after.
can both draw a card for that.
Okay.
And I need a cowardice check, medium from both of you.
Normal suit. Cowardice check. I got a 2, a 3, and a 4. My cowardice is 3, so 3
Fail.
meets it.
So you can both raise your stress level by 1.
I am now tense.
I am now stressed.
Uh-oh.
These faces.
I would
just
say reasonably so.
reasonably.
Yeah. Like, it's not gonna be calm. Like, ooh, this is nice.
All those innocent victims, those people that died, some very horrifically, all pulling themselves onto the beach. Now multiple sets of hands trying to grab you. What would you all like to do?
Does somebody
Are they-
still have me by the lower legs?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to see if I can get free from that
Sure. No,
before I start looking for Izzy.
let's go with the hard frailty for that one.
Oh.
I think Cal is just gonna try and just like move towards the center of the shore. I don't think he wants to risk getting on the boat or anything like that. He's just trying to get away from the water.
Yep.
I got a 6 and 2 1s. So is it willpower to reroll these 2?
One willpower to re-roll 2 because you're at tense.
Another success, but 1 fail.
Your lowest dice is a failure.
Yes, 3.
Mira, even amidst the struggle, disappears under the water. By now, Izzy, the hands have started to claw and just rake down you, forcing water into your face. Would you mark off 6 hits from your death's door tracker?
Sure. Can I try and get free? Or am I screwed here?
Yeah, the two of you can absolutely still fight. But
Oh, yeah.
Cal and Ada, two of you are kind of forced towards the center of this island. The boat's there. Two journalists, it seemed like, have just been pulled down under the water, and bodies are just piling on top of where they went down. Two of you like to do.
Um, he is not strong. She is going try and her recently
Is it a-
notebook to try to like people in the faces and try to get free.
Is it opposed strength or is it frailty?
At this point, it would be frailty. They have already grabbed on, they're pulling you down. Now it's about if you fight to break free. Um, Mira, about a medium temper check.
A three, and a 5. My temper is a 3.
That would be a failure.
Yeah.
Reroll it.
I will spend a willpower to re-roll them.
Izzy,
Or
that,
re-roll the 2 3s.
Right.
Sorry.
Izzy, that was a hard failure.
I'm actually gonna, because I got a, my frailty is a 2. I have a 2, 2, and a 3. I'm gonna spend a willpower to reroll those 2 2s.
I'm now at 4 5 5. So I
Oh, there it is. There it is. 3, 6, and 6.
The two of you finally manage to just start pulling yourselves free. Mira just holding on to the memories, holding on to your research. That one thing, that spark that you know that keeps you grounded, that keeps you sane. Using that to fight back. The two of you feel the grips starting to loosen. No clue how far underwater you are, but you know that you have this moment and maybe this moment alone to start trying to swim towards the surface.
Am I further
Bless.
down than her?
You are.
Because I got pulled first. Okay. If possible,
Mhm.
as I'm swimming up, because I know how much of a stick figure waif of a person Mira is.
she's
I'm-
frail, but that's because she don't work out a lot. She
Right.
is-
That's what I mean. She's if Izzy can kind of like hook and hoist, because Izzy's used to moving bodies on beds and on cadaver tables and things, so dead weight, she's used to it.
If you would like to, then I would not need a check from Mira. I would just mark off another 3 from your death's door tracker as the claws are still raking down you, and you are just suddenly just rocketed up towards the surface and finally break the surface of the water, catching your breath. Izzy, I need 2 hard frailty checks.
Okay, so let me ask you real quick before I roll these, because I know I get stuff for it. If I go against or play into my haunt or my virtue, would you say that either one of those fits? Because I just saved her.
What was your virtue?
Community?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. And that gives me what back?
That lets you discard a non-haunt card and gives you willpower.
We're gonna do that. That gives me how much willpower? Let's see.
5 willpower.
Yeah, we need that. That puts us at 10 willpower. Beautiful. We're probably going to spend a lot of it in this round. All right, so you said 2 hard.
2
Which one?
hard frailty check.
Okay, my frailty is a 2. First one. I'm going to spend a willpower because I got a 2, a 3, and a 5. Actually, I'm gonna keep that 3 just in case. We're just going to re-roll the 2. Yeah, okay, so the first one I passed with a 3. Second roll. Spending willpower. Because I rolled a 5, a 2, and a 1. Yikes, let's not. Got it with a 3. So
Beautiful.
both passed.
Nice.
You can also, instead of marking off the full 9 had you failed, only mark off 3. That's your tracker. And you also rocket yourself to the surface.
Okay. I'm still somewhat healthy.
Al and Ada, what the two of you like to do?
Cal is kind of panicking. He doesn't really know where to go or what to do, and he's not going to try and like fight them off anymore because he doesn't want to hurt them necessarily. Is the path to the boat clear at this point?
It's more clear than most of the places around you.
Okay.
How
I think-
slowly are these things moving? Sorry.
No, it's good.
On land, pretty slow.
Okay. I'm kind of thinking I might just see if my triathlon skills might work for me again.
Are there any kind of like trees on this little island?
There's light poles.
Light poles. Okay.
I just had the weirdest idea and I know it's not gonna work, but part of me wants to like get underneath one of the picnic tables and almost like crab walk underneath it so they can't. I know it doesn't work, but for some reason I'm like, that seems protecting. That seems safe.
Okay, I think Calendash is going to he's gonna ready Sheila with like the blunt end in front of him, and he's gonna turn to Ada and say,
Stay close behind me. We're breaking for the boat.
It's the top of the hour, so everyone will card.
I got a virtue.
Little
Hey,
basic card.
Another base. I have not gotten a single good or bad card.
They're jokers. I'm just card.
Yeah, skip the joker.
Yeah.
It's not a
No
joker.
so how many cards do we all have? 4?
I currently have 3.
7?
3 because I'm discarding my heart so that I can get my willpower back up.
I have 7 alone.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't really had any chances to discard anything. I've literally been getting absolutely no good or bad cards.
Oh my goodness.
Puts us over 15. Alright.
Oh no.
That's way in front of you. The two of you just start sprinting off towards the boat. Hands are reaching out slowly, just screaming out in pain, misery, gargled cries. Because you do have the weapon to help clear the way, let's go with an easy clumsiness from both of you.
Okay.
Would have been medium, but your weapon is making.
So it's the highest die
Highest
in the roll through, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
My clumsiness is my lowest one, but I still rolled a 1, 2, and a 3, so that still gave me anxiety, but I'm
Nice.
okay.
I got a 6, and my clumsiness is
Beautiful.
4.
two of you manage to skirt past. Claws just rip at your clothes, but they miss either of your limbs. Make you get to the gangplank and just sprint your way up.
What does undead flesh against squeaky waiters sound like?
Oh God.
No, I don't
Probably
want to know.
a squelch.
A squelch. A squelch is probably as close as we'll get. Yeah.
But the two of you make it to the edge of the ship where the married couple just staring wide-eyed. We tried to get to the captain. The door's locked. No one's answering. What do we do?
Alive? I know that sounds horrible, but
I don't.
I
We haven't found anyone.
There's no other crew?
I can. I'll go check below deck.
I mean, our party broke down a door once. We can try to do it again.
I think Calendash is gonna try and go up to the the captain's quarters.
Okay.
Ada's gonna see if she can get up the gangplank and go for one of the doors that leads down to the deck, and see if she can just like keep trying at it until it, like, even if she has to put her body weight into it, to see if she can break it down.
No trek required. Both of you, with enough time and effort, would be able to break through your prospective doors to either get below deck or into the captain's quarter, into the helm. And as you are doing that, I'm going to jump over to Mira and Izzy. Only two left on the island, now being swarmed by waterlogged bodies. The two of you like to do.
I don't know about Izzy, but Mira's gonna look to grab Izzy and start running towards the boat.
If you make a motion to grab towards Izzy, she's gonna slap your hand and tell you to run because she knows that you are not strong.
Okay. Then from both of you, I need a medium clumsiness.
That's not for me. My clumsiness is a 3. Spending a willpower.
A 1, a 3, and a 5.
It's like,
Spending
roll a
one of my
3,
fancy
3.
willpowers again.
Keep a 3. There it is. Got it. 1 success.
Beautiful.
1 success, failures.
So what's your medium die?
My middle die is 4, which is the exact number of my clumsiness.
So that would be a failure.
Yes. I rolled a 1, a 4, and a 5 with my willpower spent.
Izzy, the two of you take off. You are just kicking your way past these grasping hands till you reach the bottom of that gangplank. Look back to see that Mira is getting just torn to shreds. Hands are just reaching up towards the hip and just breaking down. Mira, you can add 6 to your death's door tracker.
Ouch, ouch.
How bad does she look?
She's about to be drugged down and dogpiled.
God damn it. What do I have to roll to save her?
The stop, turn, go back
Yeah.
after her.
Yeah. Against my better judgment.
Let's go with a hard cowardice and then a hard clumsiness, assuming
Okay. Cowardice is a 2.
you'd have to roll above a 1 or a 2 on your lowest deck.
Yep. Which I got a 3. So the cowardice is clear.
We're able
And you
to
said the other one?
shake off that fear, and then another clumsiness. Hard.
Okay. We're going to spend a willpower. Because that was a 1, 1, and a 4. That's a 1. That's a fail.
Get back, grab onto Mira, and pull. The two of you now both just getting clawed down. Now even waterlogged teeth are just lashing out, biting onto your calves and your feet, leg muscles.
Would that also trigger my virtue? Again.
I would say so, yeah.
Cool. That puts me at 11 willpower.
Both of you can mark off another 3 from your death store tracker. You make it to the gangplank, torn to shreds, eating loosely, but pull yourselves aboard the ship. They are starting to make their way up the gangplank themselves.
Is there a way?
Toss the gangplank. Just
Just toss the gangplank.
Yeah, you could just kick it off.
A normal person could kick it off. I'm torn to shit. I'm
A
frail.
normal person.
I am
Cal, kick
weak.
it off.
Actually, honestly, could this just be adrenaline where I'm like, "Eh!"
Yes. Just you, between the two of you, if you both want to push it together, yes, it wouldn't be too hard to just knock it off. And with no longer that anchor, the ship would kind of start to list off to the side.
Are there any of the crew members on deck?
As you can see. Now, I'll jump back to Cal. Ada. Cal, as you just force your way into the helm, see Captain sitting there at the wheel, one hand just kind of toying with a old pipe. Something I can help you with?
Captain, we need to leave. Have you not been hearing the screams?
Told you. Saw anything to keep it to yourselves.
This is beyond keeping it to ourselves anymore. People have died.
Kind of turns the chair to look at you. And there's just this curtain of crimson down the front of him, coming from this very sharp laceration across the front. Think I don't know that?
What the hell is going on?
He starts like backing towards the door again.
Swivel the chair back toward, grab it, and start turning so the ship kind of gently start whipping around back towards the shore.
I think Cal just leaves the helm and shuts the door behind him, and just heavy breathing as he like puts his back to the door once he shuts it.
Ada, you force that door open to the lower deck. I mean, putting your shoulder into it, it was kind of budging, like there was something on the other side keeping it closed, like a chair or a piece of furniture. Then you feel another just force just slam into the door next to you. It finally causes it to dislodge, and the door just flies open. The woman, the old married pair, stands next to you. I didn't want to be alone.
You got some fight in you, jeez. Is the husband still around too, or did I?
He took the stairs down to like the resting and kitchen area to see if any of the crew.
Okay. Um, I like give her this appreciative, just like this like sigh of like, but like just kind of hoping that conveys thankfulness. And then push the door open the rest of the way and kind of let her go in first. But like not just like politefulness, not trying to be like, see what's in the door, like on the door, you know.
She step in, see her, look down, reach down, and pick something up, and very cautious, scanning the small hallway leading into what looks like crew. Uh,
Um,
there's something behind the door. I don't I don't know what that is.
I this is the door we just opened and like push the okay. I kind of tell her to stand back a little bit and I peek behind um what was in the way of the door.
Definitely a body. Like if someone like threw a overcoat or something over it. It's definitely a
Um I remove the overcoat to see who it is.
it's that young crewman, the chest just eviscerated.
In a weird, like almost twisted way, almost kind of like just jab him with the toe of my shoe a little bit because I've seen him looking like he was dead 1 second and then being fine again. Does he move? Okay. I want to kind of drag him out and I warn the wife, I'm like, looks like one of the crew members didn't make it. I just want to get him on the other side of the door away from us because this is grim. And I kind of like drag his body out from around the door and like put it on the opposite side of the door so when we close it, he's away from us.
Do you want to put him above deck and keep two of you below deck, or put him below deck and two of you above deck?
I think I'm gonna have the two of us below deck because it seems safer for some reason, but I think we're gonna get stuck. But in my head in the moment, I'm frantic and I'm thinking, just get him away from us.
And you're shutting the door.
Mm-hmm.
Are you closing it locked? Because for this door, would have to be on this side to unlock it. So whoever's on the other side couldn't get through unless it was unlocked.
Don't think I'd lock it because I don't know if the things that we're climbing on board are strong enough to unlock it or like are strong enough to like push it. And I know that there are people that we still might want to help above deck. So I think in this moment I just make sure the door is shut, but I don't think I lock it.
As you like hoist the body out of the way, gently shut the door. You hear the wife's voice call out, "Oh God, I think I just heard someone. I think there's someone alive down there. What do we do?"
It's okay. It's okay. It might be someone we know. It might be a good person. It's okay.
No, it sounded like someone that I know is dead. There. I don't.
Oh, oh, um, here, let me go check it out. You want to stay, are you okay if you stay here for a second?
Yeah. And you can see
Yeah.
that like the object that she picked up is just like this cleaver of a butcher's knife. And she's
Good,
just
good.
holding it like two hands.
Protect yourself. Things are getting weird. Protect yourself. I'll be right back, I promise. And I kind of like if she was pointing, I kind of try to go in the direction that she was pointing where the voice was coming from.
Would you make a hard carelessness? Step past and kind of start peering around the corner.
This is a trap. This is a trap. I have literally the full amount of carelessness. I have to roll like a critical success to get this.
Oh no.
You got this.
Do I though? Ooh, I do not have this. I got a 3, a 3, and a 1.
You got willpower?
Yeah, I have 5 willpower. Would I be able to re-roll all 3 with
Yeah.
1 willpower?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not gonna go well, but all right, let's see.
Sure isn't once you tell it it's not.
It's gonna go fantastically, and now I'm gonna jinx myself.
Positivity.
I got 2 1s and a 6.
Mm.
Start peering around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
That room just slowly starts to come into view. See another body lying there. Another one of the crewmates that you'd only caught in passing. And then feel this sharp, stabbing pain through your shoulder blade. I know he's dead because I killed him.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Please add 6 to your death store tracker. As that butcher blade just buries itself into your shoulder.
I was nice to this woman. The only encounter I had with her, I was nice.
As the rest of you kind of make your way back to the deck of the ship, the husband comes up from the stairs leading down to the kitchen. There's a lot of blood down here. I don't know what happened. Where'd my wife go?
I thought
Stabbing me in the fucking back. That's where she went.
I thought she was with you.
Oh, God, the
Jinx,
trope.
you owe me a Coke.
The trope.
I'll find her in a second. Can one of you help me? I don't want to leave these bodies down here.
But wait, how many?
I see 2, but there's a lot of blood.
There's also a lot of blood here and on her. So
you
the
two
living matter before the dead. And I'm looking for a first aid kit.
Take a breather. You said your name was Cal?
Yes.
Going to give me a hand?
Yes, I'll help you. Ladies, follow us. I think there's a first aid kit in one of the rooms nearby.
Wonderful.
Like soaked from like up to like the biceps in blood and up across his shirt, and he just has this wide-eyed stare.
Yeah. Well, Cal is probably also splattered with blood across his waders and everything too.
Is there any kind of like insight check
I
in this
was
game?
I was gonna ask because I have not paid much attention to anybody outside of myself and Izzy for most of this. Like, I've seen the Marys at a distance, and like then there was that awkward confrontation where I was mainly watching Izzy and her reaction, and like the wife was the one who was doing most of the talking.
Mhm.
I have now gotten more of a look at this man.
Yeah.
Is he in my binder? Like, is this one of those things that, like, now in thinking about, like, the case files that I have looked at regularly that could have been involved, is it not?
He is not in your binder.
Okay. I was gonna be like,
The reason I'm asking is because of what.
well,
my
you know
thing
your own.
is. Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What with the pattern that is on his personage
Let's go with the
is
medium carelessness.
okay.
Really
Carelessness is a 2.
fast. Could I say that I can discard a card because I acted with my virtue of temperance by acting socially acceptably in the worst of situations by letting this woman go in the door behind me and
I would say
trying
so.
to keep her safe? Cool. Cool,
Yeah.
cool, 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 cool. Thanks.
I'm gonna
Nice.
spend a willpower to reroll those. Oh, 3 5s, not 3 6s. But I do pass. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So I know my own.
he's not like looking at you and giving you the eyes, like
But he's being sketch, like
a little bit. Yeah. It's certainly considering everything, even with what's happened, he's still being a little more odd than maybe a normal person. Not handling this situation like a person should.
so. And he's taking us downstairs.
Don't do it.
Hey, Cal. How good are you with that spear?
Quite.
Okay. I
No.
just she has this look on her face like distrust, like she looks at you, kind of head bobs towards him with that look of like don't trust it.
He looks at you and looks over at the young man and looks back at you and kind of gives a slight nod.
Young man, where are the bodies?
In the bed area, whatever the hell that's called.
The crew quarters.
So the crew quarters, the crew had their own quarters, like towards the back of the ship. There were guest quarters off by like the kitchen.
Oh,
If they're in the cots, they're better there than anywhere else.
Want to get them out? I don't know, onto the deck.
No.
Just leave them down here.
There's no point. They're dead, son.
they're out of the way.
What's wrong with you? Why did you treat death so callously?
I work in it daily. I'm a nurse.
And I've just seen too much.
Right. Go look for
Find
a
your
wife.
wife. Ada!
Speaking
Ada!
Ada
Ada.
this woman now with a absolutely just giddy smile across her face.
I'm hoping Ada screamed at least.
You
I mean,
know,
not that you would hear it through a closed door from across the ship, from below deck.
but
Yeah.
hey, good thing I didn't lock the door, huh?
Hey!
Like that thing in Scooby-Doo where you like barricade a door and then you're like, fuck, unbarricade the door!
Right.
Like, just...
This woman that just drove the blade into your shoulder and then just charged at you in an attempt to shove you over, rips the blade back out, and there's now her own blood like coursing down the sides of her face, where it looks like she just cut her own smile a little wider.
Joker. Okay. So, um,
What's wrong?
you just stabbed me. I don't know if stab is the right word for a cleaver, but
What?
knife in hand in my back.
Do anything like that? I don't even have a knife on me. She's just stepping closer to you.
Does she have a knife in her hand? Does she have a
Absolutely.
knife in her hand?
Just gaslighting you
The
to the
first
end.
stage
Oh my god.
denial.
The gaslighting.
Gaslight
I
Kate,
didn't
girl
just stab
boss.
you in the back with this knife. What are you talking about?
You're crazy.
Um,
No one's gonna believe you.
Yeah, the blood on my back will probably show that that's not correct.
Oh, no.
I instinctively reach into the pocket of my vest. Is there anything in there
Oh yeah,
by any chance? Okay.
your pet
Okay.
is in there.
Yeah. That's what I was looking for. I This is gonna seem so comedic. She has a full-on cleaver, and I pull out a pen.
The
And
pen
I'm
is
just
mightier than the sword, but not the cleaver.
oh. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm gonna try it anyway.
I'll make an opposed roll with you.
Do it! Do it!
Oh,
Come on!
I'm gonna
Stab her in the
die.
eye.
Or higher is a success.
I know there's a lot of crazy shit that's been happening on this boat, but I swear this is not something I'm hallucinating here. And she tries to, stab her with the pen. Okay, I got a 6, a 4, and a 3.
2 successes.
Mm-hmm.
To my 2 successes.
I can re-roll. I can re-roll one of those. Alright, so.
Hold the 6 and re-roll the other 2.
Well, one of them was already a success, though.
But she could get a crit.
That's up to you.
Or I could get a 1.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just re-roll the 1 for now. Oh, it's still a 2. Oh no, okay, that's fine. I got 2 successes to match her 2 successes. What does that mean? Do I get stabbed again and she gets stabbed again?
She
For the first time?
lunges towards you, the two of you
Mhm.
just lashing out with your weapons. The pen would drive up into her rib cage, while she manages to just bear down with that knife, like into just your upper chest. And it's that
Ow.
that moment where the two of you are just driving your weapons just deeper and deeper. And she's still just got
Oh.
this smile on her face, just looking at you, as calm as can be. Just as if she couldn't feel anything, she didn't care what was happening, just matching your eyes with pure calmness.
I'm sitting there matching her eyes and being like, I know a psychopath when I see one, honey. And I'm just driving it further up.
Another voice would kind of appear there next to you. No, see, that's not quite how I did it. And just you'd feel like a set of hands just like press themselves on the back of the pen. Hands that you recognize that stole this pen in the first place. See if you're going to kill with it. To turn upwards force. In your hands, that pen full on jabs up through the rib cage. And a smile fades from her face and lets go of the knife. Slumps back against the wall. See? It's not that hard.
Make it you made it look so easy, and that's the problem here. And she turns around with the pen that is now freshly bloody. Is there anyone behind her?
Oh yeah.
Is it who I think it is, or is it somebody that actually is supposed to be on this boat?
You know what? I'll let you describe him.
Okay. So I turn around and I see a face that I have seen many times before sitting across from a desk from me, usually talking charismatically, sly even. Um his hair is buzz cut. Usually he was obviously wearing a prison outfit, so if in this moment I'm assuming he's probably not dressed as if he's probably in street clothes. Um and the face of the guy that I let go, that I shouldn't have let go, because he shouldn't have passed his psych eval, even though I let him pass his psych eval, um, is looking at me with a face that isn't calm anymore. It's wicked. It's a face that you know that this person has already wronged you, so you already know that that look that you thought was charisma, it isn't. It is pure manipulation. And I turn around and I have the pen that he used to murder somebody after I let him go. And I point it towards him and I say, "You taught me how to do this now. Are you ready for that?"
Well, why don't we schedule another session? We can talk about our feel about all of it. How does that sound?
I feel like there's nothing I'd rather have less. And I go to move to see if I can actually do what he just had me do.
Just drive the pen towards the chest. Kind of stumble forward. Only here because you won't let me go.
I tried to let you go. That's why I got rid of the engraving on the pen and I was ready to just toss it into the deepest depths of the ocean. I'm trying to let you go. Why are you not letting me?
We're made for each other, right?
No. No. This was a stupid mistake. I shouldn't have just. I should have seen the signs. I should have known. I don't know how I didn't see it, but we were not made for each other. I just fell for some stupid charisma in a moment of overexhaustion. And you're gonna use that against me?
You would just start laughing. Seeing you soon, Doc. Laughter would start to fade. Just you standing amongst bodies.
I I just drop the pen and I go up to the woman that I know I just. She was not doing well to begin with, but now I know that she's gone. And I just like fall in front of her. And I'm numb and I just like am just looking at her face with that creepy smile.
Now it's nothing. Blank expression. But the rest of you opt not to go collect the bodies. The ship now pulling back into the fog, headed towards the shore. By this point, you can guess you're close to halfway back. Your notebook seemingly pulls itself out of your pocket, flops to the floor, the wind picking up and just ripping the pages open one after the other. Now a frantic scribbled. It was her. She did it. It was her. How could you trust her? Again and again and again.
Is it in relation to any of the cases in the binder, or is this just...
Just seems to be everything. It's written on top of your own writing, just scribbled to the point where it's almost just carving through one page into the next.
Would Mira She is smarter than she looks. And while she may have been willfully ignorant about the thing, sitting down and looking at things that have happened, would she be able to see if she can put together who they are talking about? Like, even though she knows she doesn't want to know, but now it's like, fuck, Body's almost pulled me under. Like, I gotta... What are they referring to?
I mean, there's at least 3 people that it could be referring
No,
Just
it can't.
in the immediate
She doesn't
vicinity.
trust any of the other people.
That's fair.
Like,
Fair.
she legitimately barely has any contact with Ada. Minimal with Cal. He helped her open a door. The only one that she has ever trusted is Izzy. But now is this something that a is this something where it is, oh, this message is meant for me versus this message is meant for Izzy?
Fantastic question. That moment the two of you are sitting there, the notebook is open. Both of you can clearly see it. The moment of looking at it, each other. No one ever removed that body bag from the deck of the ship. Everyone has just kind of stepped over it.
Yeah,
Nope.
that's true.
The zipper would start to pull itself down. That same slender hand starts pulling out this cleaver like knife coated in blood and just plops it right next to the book in between the two. Tracks the hand and slowly zips it back up.
Somehow not the weirdest thing I've seen.
Yeah.
Is that a... But
I'll pick up the knife.
It feels familiar.
is that the missing steak knife from our butcher block?
Huh. What do you know?
Did you bring the body bag?
Nope.
The blood on the knife?
You saw it come out of that body bag.
I'm gonna kind of go over to the body bag and, like, knock on the floor next to it and then open it to try to see who's in there, because close the bag behind itself, but
You're giving it a courtesy knock and then you're going to open its door.
I don't want to fucking lose my face.
I know. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
It would start to just unzip itself.
Do I recognize the person in the bag?
Oh, there's no person in the bag anymore. It is a pile of entrails, but mixed in with that are pages upon pages, pictures, uh, sketch drawings, police sketch drawings. It's like letters from victims' families. These are things that you personally have dismissed.
No one else is on deck with us, correct?
Cal's around here
Well,
somewhere.
Dash is on
Al
deck.
is.
He's nowhere near y'all at this moment. He's like on a different part of the deck.
Mira's gonna zip the bag closed, heft it over the side of the boat.
Okay.
Pictures that Izzy, you know, incriminate you. That you know show scenes of you with victims. It's closed up. Bag gets hoisted to the edge of the railing and just pushed over. Would mean that her back would be for a good minute.
Listen, it's Mira, 2 to 3 minutes. It takes a minute. She's wounded. She is not strong. Entrails are not solid. It a bit. She is trying to get this over the edge because she is not at this point. It's too much.
For me to see anything in that, I would have had to move over there, right?
I think it was like between us.
Between the
so
two
you
of
would
you.
have seen mixed in with my fan mail shit you knew you did.
Yeah, I knew it was too good to be true, and I rush forward. And instead of using the knife, I'm going to use the empty syringe and try and basically air bubble her.
As Cal, you hear this commotion, just a slamming of bodies on the deck. Unsure of exactly where that's coming from. The husband, now coming up to join you. I couldn't find my wife. I looks over towards wherever that commotion is coming from. Did you hear that?
Is that a splash?
He's immediately gonna turn and just throw an elbow towards your head, try to shove you.
Oh shit!
I tried to warn you.
He
I
can
tried to
sure
warn you.
try.
Like,
Opposed roll, please.
it's a frailty.
I just have to roll higher than a 4.
Oh, okay. Okay.
3 successes.
Oh.
Stop that.
I got 1 success, so I will use a willpower to reroll 2.
Oh, wait, what's your level of stress, though?
I'm at stressed.
Okay, so it's 1 willpower per 1 die now.
1 willpower per 1 die.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
so I
higher
will
the
use.
stress level, the less you get to reroll per 1 willpower.
Got you. Okay, well then I will drop down to from 8 to 6 to reroll 2. That is 2 successes.
That elbow just firmly cracks right into your cheekbone. You feel it immediately just open a gash. And he tries to just shove himself into you to knock you over the edge. But the two of you, for the moment, are stuck, just wrestling for control.
Okay. I'm still holding Sheila.
Mhm.
I would like to use that as leverage to kind of throw him overboard, essentially.
Go for it. I got 2 successes, a 6 and a 5.
I also got 2 successes, 2 5s.
I'll give you the option. You can either basically just come to a stalemate and break apart, or the two of you are both going over.
Um, I think he's gonna go both over. Yeah.
Both of you
I don't think Cal would think to let go of the spear enough before he gets dragged over as well.
Just that flip of pressure, and then suddenly both of you are just over and tumbling.
Mm-hmm.
They splash, not that anyone is around it. Izzy and Mira, the two, are suddenly locked in deadly embrace. Would the two of you like to roll opposing rolls against each other?
What's the level?
It's just 4 plus.
4 plus.
I want to attempt to lock my legs around her and just throw my body weight overboard and be like, all right,
Yeah.
I was gonna let it go, but somebody had to panic, so now you're coming with me.
Oh yeah, no, I'm panicking. I'm also re-roll. I'm spending willpower to re-roll another die.
Spend roll power, roll a
Okay.
couple die.
I got mine.
A 1, a 3, and a 4.
I got 2 5s and a 3. We're not going anywhere.
That syringe jabs in. There's that.
And she's gonna jab it in and do the thing that you're not supposed to do as a medical professional. And she's gonna lower you to the deck, or at least attempt to do so. You just couldn't. You just couldn't, could you? At all.
Getting rid of the evidence.
See, the thing is that you dig too deep. And when you dig too deep, you get in the way. And just leave this syringe in her neck. And just watch. And wait.
Is the knife nearby?
Probably in my other hand.
Oh yeah, you said you were holding it earlier.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would say you may have enough left in you to oppose roll, try and stab me with the knife in my own hand.
That moment earlier, which feels like a lifetime ago, of Izzy being in that room, just being cloaked with that shadowy figure. See that fog stretching behind her as if it was standing there again. And now you realize it wasn't attacking Izzy. It wasn't a threat to Izzy. It was embracing. As it does now.
Knowing I may not actually get to kill her, I'm gonna grab the needle from my neck, shoved it, and just stab her in the eye with it.
Oh! Ooh, is that opposed? Is that opposed or not?
Yeah.
Okay. We're opposing that shit. You're not taking my eye.
Is this frailty or something else?
This is
Opposed.
just a 4+ on your 3 dice.
Yeah, opposed
Oh,
roll.
4+, so 4, 5, and 6. Oh, yeah.
Spend
I got
willpower.
a 6 and 2 4s.
I forgot.
Spend a willpower. Quite frankly,
I'm so glad we're friends in real life.
I
That's
know.
great.
I'm gonna spend another willpower to reroll one
Oh
more die.
God!
I am
You might as well.
dying.
You're
I
gonna
will
die.
spend
You might as
every
well.
single willpower. It's 4 and plus.
Yep, 4+.
Yeah.
Plus.
I have a 4 and 2 5s.
I have a
And
4,
I
4, and a
coming
6.
with me, bitch.
You're
What?
gonna die, but I'll give you the eye. Sure.
What is your
Yeah.
frailty score?
6. Or no, it is 5.
I
Sorry.
was gonna say that's not possible.
Yeah.
That's
the
how
highest it can
frail she
be.
is. I've gotten my ass kicked today.
As to not go into graphic detail, because I know there are those that have issues with eye injuries, but yes, there would be a jab to the face. That feeling, that entity that had pulled you back, embraced you in the darkness, and told you to just let them go, seems to just take over. Just pulls you back. For a moment, the figure Mira, that you had come to be so close with, just looks you in the eye and then is just shrouded in shadow. It's just gone. Blood is just trickling down your face now. Anna,
Mm-hmm.
after taking some time to compose yourself, would you have returned to the...
Eventually, but I think it would be a while. I feel like it would just she'd probably let it consume her for a little bit of I don't even know how long, because I feel like that's one of those things where like she wouldn't even know how long she actually sat there. But eventually she'd try to stand up. Out of curiosity, do I actually have wounds on my back, or is that also
Oh,
a
yeah.
hallucination? Okay.
Kind of bleeding to death.
Okay, yeah. After a while, I will like stand up really stiffly and in a weird way, knowing that at least I have the wounds to show that if anyone questions anything, it was self-defense ish. And, and she kind of will like go upstairs, open the door that she closed but didn't lock, and kind of just wait for a second. Like the door kind of just cracked enough that she can kind of see out of it and just hear what's happening on deck and see if she feels like it seems okay right now to come back up. Like if
Very
there's
quiet.
like there's a lot of okay. Um I feel like she'll open the door, go up, and have every intention to try to see if she can find where the person steering the boat would be.
As you start focusing, listen, open the door to step your way up, there's that bump of the ship hitting something, coming to this very slow stop. And you come up to realize that the fog is gone. So you've reached the shore. Your car parked over at the edge of the dock. The only other person that
Where would Izzy be right now?
She's on the deck.
probably
And depending on how long it took you to come up, I may not be over Mira.
That's kind of what I was wondering. Like, are
Right,
you literally
yeah,
like actively
I'll
over
leave
the
that to
dead
Hoop.
body
I'll
of your
leave,
friend?
I'll leave that to Hoop.
no.
I'll leave him.
Art in The Simpsons. It was like that when I got here.
So the two of you would kind of head off towards the starboard side of the ship, which would be opposite of where we're currently flying. Two of you would see each other, see the cars and shoreline. Izzy is bleeding profusely from the face. Ada is bleeding profusely from the chest and back.
Feel like this is one of those moments where neither of us ask questions. um is there anyone on the shore at
No
all?
one.
Oh, okay.
Is her car still there?
Yeah. I'll just look at you and just say, a hospital?
I know a good one.
Good. Give me directions. And
Okay.
she'll kind of like she's gonna put her arm over your arm to kind of like over you to kind of like lean on you because of like the back thing. I feel like
Okay.
if I tried to offer to let you be over me, then it would just
No, she
literally
would. Yeah,
compress
no.
back. It would hurt.
You are definitely not structured to take her musculature. You'll just like Miri. You'll like fold, man. No.
And I think just like kind of slowly shuffling side by side next to each other, we walk off the boat. I don't know if
As
the
you
game-
two, as you two are getting
There's
into the
no
car,
gangplank.
Is
No,
that gonna say
that
their
is
game
true.
like we have to like hop off?
no.
Jump.
As you two are getting into the car, I want to say like as you like shut the door and you can like still see out onto the water, you see Sheila wash up onto the shore.
Oh. Yeah.
Absolute. Well, with that, as our two survivors make their way off, the maybe not the nearest hospital, but the most convenient hospital that's not going to ask too many questions.
Convenient for me.
Convenient for you. I think that's a fantastic place for us to call this game to a stop.
Oh, I love it. This game is so weird and I love it.
Locus is such a fun system.
Ah.
That was
we survived
great.
another hoop game, or
Yeah, 1 for 4.
And we really scratched the surface. This is meant to definitely like a 3 to 4 long session, like mini series. Is
Yeah.
what Locus is meant
Yeah.
I can tell the mechanics are there for an extended game, so it's very cool.
for. But
you fit so much horror in that small amount of time.
Yeah,
Tell you.
that was great.
Just
You
Act
did a
1.
great
Oh, I gotta
job.
go off and kill people again. What?
I wanted
still
to.
don't-
There was one.
So
There was
good.
one
So
thing.
good.
There was one thing I wanted to do as me and the husband got both of us thrown overboard. I wanted to say like in the last moments of struggle, the two of them underwater, as Cal's vision is fading and the bubbles in front of them are flowing, the husband's face turns into that of his former shipmate that he had to kill before.
Oh, yeah, like
You're
the,
creepily reunited with him.
Yeah.
the means
Can
that
we
they
say our
used.
secrets?
Yeah, please.
Robbie Robin with 2 B's.
Yeah.
Do your secret first.
Oh, my secret. Uh So Calendash had been sailing with a partner of his for a long time, and they became stranded on an island not too dissimilar from this one, where only one of them could survive in the end. It was either going to be both of them would end up dying, or one of them would get off the island. And Calendash lives with the regret to this day that he was the one who lived.
Jojo.
Okay. So her secret is related to her haunt, which the incident that spawned the haunt was related to what I called the McGillicuddy Massacre. 'Cause I just made up a crime. And basically, Adam McGillicuddy, age 30, killed his parent, 3 of his siblings, and their spouses. And the only reason that his sister Ava, 30, survived was the shot was off and she fell dead. When Mira does her coverage, she does typically a Where Are They Now? And had, even though it was a decade later, he was in jail, she basically ruined Ava's obscurity and never took the letter down, even though Ava had sent her a letter essentially to her P.O. box being like, hey, I'm struggling, I need help, take it down. And Mira basically was like, that's a cool letter, and just ignored it. And basically reasoned with herself that, like, well, everybody's covering it, my channel's not the breaking. And then Ava ended up taking her own life, and Adam from prison sent thank you cards to all the true crime people who were covering it, but the one he sent Mira basically said, thanks for finishing the job, the heart, saying that he was a fan, which other ones didn't get because they shared those letters. And so her sin was basically hide the shame, which was essentially the reason she was like, shit, fuck, goddamn, hide the evidence.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Too much right now. We'll handle it later.
She was just ready
Ever.
to keep on denying.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Because, like, yeah, it's one thing in the dark of the night to be like, hey, I done fucked up. Because, you know,
Sorry.
it's one of those things that, like, when you're laying in bed and you're like, hey, remember about 15 years ago when you meant to say this is a message for Jessica and you said this Messica is for Jessica and that a person had to hear that? Go to the tape! Like, the brain, you're just like, well, fuck,
Yeah.
And so...
What was Adis?
Yeah.
Ada.
Ada.
Sorry, Ada. I got it wrong at the very end.
Remember,
It's
Ada.
Ada.
Ara.
Ada.
Well, I think the secret had to do with her boinking.
No, I don't think she.
No. So I was I'm a therapist that works in a prison.
Yes.
And basically I got so overworked that there was this one person who was up for potentially being released if as long as they pass their psych eval, named Brandon Fenn. And because I was overworked and tired and he was a charismatic person, I let him go, thinking he was fine, and didn't really think too much of it. Until a few weeks later, I saw the news saying that somebody that I knew was one of Branton's exes from the therapy sessions where I had talked to him. Obviously, I knew some of his exes' names and everything like that. I saw news coverage that she had been murdered. And that same day, when the news coverage broke, delivered to my home address, which Brandon should not have known, but somehow did. I received a box with a pen that was the you know those like fancy fountain pens you can get engraved that like people get for like graduation presents and stuff like that. When I got my PhD for or like my psych D, my aunt had given me one with my name engraved on it, and apparently without me realizing it, Brandon had stolen it off my desk from work because that's the sharpest thing they would have let me bring into the office. And he used that as the murder weapon with his ex. And when he sent it back, it had her blood in the actual like well of the fountain well of the pen, and he had written a note to her saying thanks for the assist, Karina, because Ada is actually Karina Huxley. But she was afraid that somehow, some way, somebody would know her name somehow from news coverage or something like that. So when she decided she was going on this boat, she wanted to make sure that she was completely separate from her own name, and she was trying to get rid of the pen that she tried to drop down the outhouse and then inadvertently ended up killing somebody with. So, you know, full circle.
Golly day.
Great success.
Great success.
And if it wasn't obvious, mine, Izzy is a serial killer. She.
No.
Yeah, I know, right? But her big thing is that she basically takes justice into her own hands by, murdering the people who she feels are rich and entitled and not helping the community with their dying breath, so to speak. So kind of I didn't mean to make a Dexter, but I kind of did make a Dexter.
Don't you hate it when you accidentally make a Dexter?
Dude, I'm telling you.
My quest.
Yeah.
If Mira had tried to like take you out, would you have been like, "Oh, fair play"? Like, is that
She would have
Izzy's
so
moral compass where she would have been
Izzy, the fact that Izzy came back to save you multiple times, that's usually against her. That's kind of against the way she's built. But you are her friend, the closest thing to a friend she has. But had fair had
past tense.
but
Too
when
soon.
when that came to light at the end, she's like, well, you've grown your usefulness, and no, you're gone. Now if you had gotten the knife, it would have been Izzy knows she's stronger than Mira, so it either would have been a lucky shot, or it would have been yeah, you got me, but fair, and then just reverse.
I really do appreciate that, like, with the way this ends, Mira is chronically online true crime podcaster.
Oh, I know.
So
You're gonna know. They're gonna
Twitter
notice you're gone.
feed,
She's going to be in a true crime podcast.
Right. And it's going to be the last time anybody saw her, she went on a 4-hour tour with her roommate.
Yep.
Because she tweeted about it, and the roommate came back without an eye.
Yep.
But how many other people died on that boat? Would they be able to say that your roommate did this and this person did that and that person did
Izzy,
this?
There's enough plausible deniability between the only two remaining survivors.
But I probably, honestly, Izzy would probably change her name, leave that area, and go to a completely different part of the state.
I mean, Ada already did change her name once. She'll do it again.
Yeah.
Izzy's probably done it 2 or 3 times.
Before the fan base of a small up and coming true crime podcast really starts to get traction on the possible missing host.
Right.
So I do want to let us have time for outros because we are running a bit over.
Oh,
yes.
shoot.
But
I'm sorry.
No, Um, the married couple, they were completely innocent when they got on the boat. The
Uh-oh.
the spirits that murderous spirits infected both of them, and every time, like when you saw them coming out of the door, when they had someone come help with their luggage, they were just offing the crew.
Oh, poor.
Terrible.
So
Crew
when we
member
caught
that
them,
almost said he was gonna kill me, but didn't kill me. But
so when we caught them coming out from their little
Yeah.
tete-a-tete, they were actually murdering
There
people.
were dead people in that room that they just
Damn it!
oh, they were trying to invite you to be the third in their murder spree.
were.
I knew it was for a
Oh,
fucking
it would've gone-
sacrifice.
It would have gone poorly for them.
I was right. It
Ooh.
was for a sacrifice.
All right. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you everyone for hanging out and watching. I love horror games. I love Locus. It's such a fun system. But real quick, I want to give everyone a chance to tell the people who you are, and if you're working on anything people can check out, where they can find it. We'll again start clockwise. So we will start with Robin 2Bs.
Robin Redunculus. You can catch me at Robin Redunk on all platforms. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Twitch, and you can see old stuff on TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah. Over to Joanne.
Lil Bunny Foo on my socials. Monday I am on Twitch. Sometimes it's Monday, Wednesday. Often I am with Robin on Thursdays at the Ginger Brigade, but she is swapping that up in the not too future. That's that. I don't have a lot of other
Yeah.
upcoming currently.
That's it.
Over to Lonnie.
Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl.
All right, Lonnie or Looney_Shaz. You can find me. The only thing that I have an official date for so far is Midway Madness, probably our finale next Sunday on High Shelf Collective.
Heck
And
no.
also just no, heck no, bad no. Stop that. And I am also just in the Lost Caravan Discord. I'm one of the mods, so if you ever if you're not already joining us, then feel free to join us and come talk about a bunch of cool things and sign up for some games. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. And over to Robin 1B.
Like always, last but not least, I'm Robin.
How does
Ginger
that keep
Brigade.
happening?
Dude, I don't know. It's fine though. I'm used to it by now. It's no big deal. I'm Robin, Ginger Brigade on Twitch and Ginger_Brigade on Twitter. My next time that I'm going to be on here that I know of currently now is the 16th when we do our Champion of the Gods Pathfinder 2e20 level one shot. Other than that, I'm waiting for the February schedule to drop, so that'll be soon. Fingers crossed. Also, be good to each other. Go down and follow the socials of the people that you see on the screen right here. We do a lot of heckin' fun stuff. Come and join us at our Discord. And just, we got VODs if you guys are interested. We got tons of VODs on the YouTube channel. I know I'm stealing Hoop's thunder here, but I'm just used to doing it.
VODs for the table.
Yeah,
VODs for the table.
you want some VODs?
Do it for the
VODs
VOD.
for the
You
table.
want some VODs?
I do lots for the VOD. So
Yeah.
much.
For the VOD!
But yeah, if you like what we do, you can come hang out, roll some dice with us, fill out our monthly casting calls. We do tons of one-shots and mini-series. We're going to be focusing more on mini-series this year than one-shots, but we're still going to show off a bunch of indie games because that's what I want to do. That's before I even started streaming, I said, hey, here's a crazy thought. What if I found strangers on the internet that just wanted to play like indie games with me? Right? No, that would be crazy.
Best concept ever.
No
Best
one would
concept
do
ever.
that. No one would want to do that, right? Well, turns out people did. Anyways, thank you again to this wonderful cast. Y'all were beautiful, and you made this game so much fun. But yeah, it's super late, so with that,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, be good people, do good things, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.